At the Van Duong City base of the Southern Alliance, urgent calls echoed, "Brother, brother, brother, wake up quickly," and causing Tan Fong to gradually wake up. The first image to hit his eyes was the familiar face of So-So the little girl, standing there with her hands on her hips, speaking impatiently. "Finally, you're awake. Aren't you going to report to Captain Tran today? You're already late." Tan Fong blinked in surprise, gathered himself, and sprang up like a spring to hug her tightly, his voice trembling with emotion. So why did you only just remember to appear in my dream now?" Tan Fong So-So kept him frozen for 5 seconds, not understanding a thing, and Tan Fong continued. "Your eyes have been closed for 3 years. Brother misses you so much." "What nonsense is brother saying now? Who's been dead for 3 years? So-So shouted and slapped him hard enough that Tan Fong almost passed out. Tan Fong's background. Tan Fong transmigrated to a parallel world where magical beasts and ferocious beasts run rampant. Elemental masters are revered like gods. Only elemental masters with tremendous power are capable of dealing with the ferocious beasts. However, people with elemental master talent are extremely rare, so anyone lucky enough to be discovered with the gift will be provided resources by the government for training from a young age. Now the opportunity for Tan Fong to become an elemental master has arrived. In his hands is a super-grade elemental master cultivation system. Sneaking off to a quiet alley in the Van Duong refugee camp, he whispered the command, "Start the performance." The system immediately began an automatic scan of the host's cultivation level. Just seconds later, the results appeared. Cold host Tan Fong's wind force sensitivity is 0.7 thunder, force sensitivity, 0.7 ice system sensitivity, 0.5. The measurements showed the host does not have the talent to become an elemental master. Hearing this, Tan Fong turned purple with anger and shouted, "Waste of words! If I had talent, I wouldn't be a refugee." Whether the system felt guilty or was just following protocol, it immediately granted the newbie reward wind system aptitude enhancement. After successful enhancement, Tan Fong's wind talent suddenly skyrocketed to an extraordinary level. He was so excited he trembled, mumbling, "Highest level talent. This enhancement is just too overpowered." Rumor has it, even the city lord of the Van Duong refugee camp only reached genius-level talent, while most elemental masters in the world remain at the normal level. World-class talent is held by only 7 people, 7 saviors, those who dominate the world. The system continued to reward the elemental cultivation technique Ming Zhuang and the genius skill level Devour, allowing forced seizure of beast cores and demon cores. A surge of power flowed into Tan Fong's body, allowing him to instantly comprehend the elemental cultivation technique. But he still didn't understand what the Devour skill for beast cores and demon cores was. Just then the system gifted him a level 4 wind system beast core. Holding the shimmering beast core, he muttered, "Is this a beast core? The source of power for ferocious beasts and magical beasts." Though he hadn't studied it deeply, he knew he couldn't just swallow it, but could his Devour skill absorb this? In 3 days, So-So must go on patrol with world-class talent but lacks real power. Tan Fong anxiously clenched his hands. "I definitely can't protect her." Thinking of So-So, Tan Fong clenched his teeth and resolved to take a risk. Without hesitation, he swallowed the wind system beast core. The system immediately announced in a cold voice, "Devour of level 4 wind system beast core successful. Host enters late-stage physical enhancement realm. Wind system late-stage physical enhancement realm. Wind quality refinement 84%. Tan Fong burst out laughing with bright eyes. "With this Devour genius skill, as long as I hunt beast cores and demon cores, I can rapidly increase my cultivation. When wind quality refinement reaches 100% and the wind god seal condenses, I will become a 9-star wind elemental master. At this rate, 9-star wind elemental master is not far off." Just then, the system sounded again. But this time it wasn't a reward, it was a new task opening divine-level cultivation mission. Goal wind quality refinement in the body reaches 100%. The mission is divided into 3 difficulty levels. The host must choose one and cannot change it. Failure means no reward. Normal difficulty complete in 3 days. Reward divine grade storage ring. 2. Medium difficulty complete in 1 day. Reward divine grade storage ring 1 and level 4. Thunder system beast core. High difficulty. Complete in 2 hours. Reward. Divine grade storage ring. 1 level 4 Thunder System Beast Core and Thunder System. Aptitude enhancement. Luke Tanfong pondered carefully. The high difficulty reward was indeed attractive. A level 4 Beast Core has already helped Fong's elemental transformation reach 84%. At this rate, he needs at least one more level 2 Beast Core to reach 100%. But level 2 Beast Cores in the city cost as much as 100,000 yuan, while the compensation from Gita Lei was only 51,000 yuan. How could he afford that? Could he really abandon the high difficulty mission? While Tan Fong was troubled, and calculating the system urged him repeatedly with the selection time counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. At the last second, an idea flashed through his mind. Without hesitation, Tan Fong chose the highest difficulty and rushed out to the city square. The bustling, snowy white scene made him exclaim in awe. Having lived long in the refugee area, this was his first time setting foot in the city hall. To upgrade to the citizen rank and receive subsidies, he had to come here. Rumor had it that citizen subsidies were very generous as long as you had the money. Tan Fong believed he could buy beast cores to complete the mission. As he stepped to the city hall door, a beautiful girl came forward to greet him. A friendly smile spread across her lips. "Hello, sir. I am the receptionist here, Xiao Liu. May I ask what service you need?" Tan Fong quickly replied, slightly anxious. "I want to upgrade. Which area should I go to?" Xiao Liu smiled brightly and gently guided him. "Sir, upgrading to commoner status is at window 1 and 2. Upgrading to city citizen status is at window 3. Tan Fong interrupted urgently. "What about citizen rank?" Hearing the word citizen, Xiao Liu and everyone in City Hall were startled, and all turned to look at Tan Fong with scrutinizing eyes. Such a young teenager already wants to upgrade to citizen rank. That's a special class like knights of old. It's similar to a secondary minor noble. Ordinary people must bow and greet citizens. Rumor has it citizens who intentionally kill aren't executed but only lightly punished. Xiao Liu immediately changed her attitude, bowing respectfully. "Sir, upgrading to citizen rank is at the merchant's office on the 10th floor. Please follow me." After speaking, she led Tan Fong inside. At the merchant's office, they met Director Wang Zheng. Xiao Liu respectfully introduced, "Director Wang, this Sir Tan Fong wishes to upgrade to citizen rank." Wang Zheng looked up, surprised to see such a young youth wanting to upgrade to citizen rank. He invited Tan Fong to sit at the tea table. His eyes glanced over Tan Fong's simple clothes, silently judging that this boy wasn't from a noble family. Could he be a master of the strong body realm? Those who upgrade to citizen rank are usually wealthy or strong body masters. The wealthy upgrading is top tier, but strong body masters are potential candidates to become future elementals. Tan Fong sat down curiously, looking around the merchant's office. Indeed, not ordinary. The luxurious decor exuded authority. Wang Zheng stepped forward cautiously, asking, "Sir, may I ask which citizen rank you want to upgrade to?" Tan Fong raised his eyebrows in surprise. "Citizen rank has levels too," Xiao Liu explained patiently. "Yes, sir. Strong body masters at early stage may upgrade to citizen rank 1, receiving a monthly subsidy of 10,000 yuan. Mid-stage strong body masters upgrade to citizen rank 2 with 20,000 yuan subsidy monthly. Late-stage strong body masters upgrade to citizen rank 3, receiving 30,000 yuan monthly. The highest is citizen rank 4 with a monthly subsidy of 40,000 yuan. Tan Fong's eyes lit up and he asked right away, "Is it true that once you upgrade successfully, you start receiving the subsidy immediately?" Wang Zheng nodded to confirm, "Yes, sir. Please show your upgrade certification." Tan Fong nodded lightly, confidently stood up. "Here, take a look." Then he raised his hand and created a small whirlwind swirling in his palm. His wind elemental control ability flared up, proving he had reached the early strong body stage of the wind element. Xiao Liu exclaimed in admiration, "Good heavens!" Wang Zheng nodded, his eyes full of praise. This young man definitely upgraded based on his own strength. He turned to Tan Fong respectfully. "Sir, now I will help you with the procedure to upgrade to citizen rank 1 and simultaneously distribute the 10,000 yuan subsidy immediately." As Wang Zheng was about to return to the desk to prepare the paperwork, Tan Fong stopped him confidently. "Wait, is it true that upgrading to citizen rank 2 will give another 20,000 yuan subsidy?" "Yes." Wang Zheng nodded in confirmation. "That's right, but the level 2 elemental rite requires training up to mid-stage strength realm. Tan Feng smiled proudly. Then take a closer look. With that, he displayed his strength. A powerful whirlwind erupted, proving he had reached the mid-stage strength realm of the wind element. Yes. Wang Zhang was stunned, quickly replying, "Please wait here, I will immediately upgrade your level 2 elemental rite." He hurried off to handle the paperwork. Little Liu stood beside him, eyes wide open, staring blankly at Tan Feng. This young man was not only handsome, but also a mid-stage strength realm expert, a true gem among gems. Before Wang Zhang could finish, Tan Feng spoke again, his voice full of pride. "Don't rush, Director Wang. Please also help me upgrade to level 3 elemental right at the same time." He suddenly hovered in midair. A furious tornado spread throughout the room, tossing the furniture around. Wang Zhang stammered in horror. "Good heavens, this elemental fluctuation is the late-stage strength realm of the wind element. How is this possible? So young and already this powerful." On the contrary, little Liu was extremely excited, eyes sparkling. "So handsome. His talent must be a once-in-a-thousand-years elite. He will definitely become a great figure in the future." She murmured, "My heart is pounding. I don't know how to become a great figure, but I already like him a little." Tan Feng overheard this and chuckled silently. "At first I wanted to show all my strength, but who knew I would be told to tone it down step by step. Really just inviting anti-fans on myself." Returning to the main matter, Wang Zhang quickly completed the procedures and handed Tan Feng the elemental rite certificate along with a bank card. He respectfully said, "Sir, there are 60,000 yuan in the card as your upgrade subsidy." Tan Feng held the card calm on the outside, but inwardly thrilled as if ready to dance. The money was finally enough to buy the beast core to complete the final mission. Wang Zhang then handed him a phone, speaking respectfully. "Sir, this phone is a government gift with unlimited calls linked to your ID card." Tan Feng nodded lightly, politely replying, "Thank you." He thought silently. In this era, phones are luxury items hard for ordinary people to own. After receiving it, he immediately left. Wang Zhang and little Liu thoughtfully escorted him to the city hall entrance. "Yes." Wang Zhang turned to little Liu and instructed, "This Sir Tan Feng is not simple. Next time, no matter the reason he comes, bring him straight to the VIP room. I will personally receive him." Little Liu, now officially a fan of Tan Feng, nodded enthusiastically. "Got it, Director. But could you give me Sir Tan Feng's phone number?" Wang Zhang chuckled. "Don't you understand the feelings of a young girl like this receptionist?" Wang Zhang looked straight at little Liu, voice serious. "Girl, don't waste your feelings. With the talent of Sir Tan Feng from this small Yunyang city, no one can keep him here. His future stage is definitely the whole world." An hour later, Tan Feng spent all 100,000 yuan to buy a level 3 wind beast core. He sneaked into a hidden corner near Yunyang Square and swallowed the beast core. A divine devouring talent skill instantly activated. The system's voice rang coldly. "Level 3 wind beast core devouring successful. Wind transformation quality reached 100%. Congratulations to the user for completing a high difficulty mission." The system continued to grant rewards. First was a supreme space storage so large it could hold an entire building, surpassing all market storage rings. Second, enhanced lightning elemental talent. Finally, a level 4 lightning beast core appeared. Tan Feng's eyes lit up. "Just in time for lightning talent, I can also devour this beast core." Another divine devouring skill activated. System notification, level 4 lightning beast core devouring successful. Lightning transformation quality reached 85%. 6 levels of wind. Elemental training as a standard elemental master reached 100% wind transformation. Lightning elemental strength realm, late stage lightning transformation, 85%. Divine devouring talent skill. Combat power score, 243 points. Tan Feng shouted excitedly, "Great! Now I am a standard elemental master." He suddenly realized the combat power score of a normal standard elemental master was only around 100, but he had reached 243 points. Training multiple elemental types really brings exceptional benefits. If I cultivate 3 elements simultaneously, will the growth range be even greater? He thought to himself, if I unlock another element, could I rival a first-star elemental master? At that moment, the system unlocked a new mission, a regular training mission. The goal is to raise the thunder system to the level of an elemental adept. The reward is an enhancement of the water element aptitude. The mission has no time limit. Tan Fong laughed heartily. Awesome, adding the water element, I will have 3 talents. Other elementalists only cultivate 1 element, but I cultivate 3 simultaneously. In the future, I will definitely surpass all first-star elementalists. Without hesitation, he picked up the phone and called little So-So. No need to cook dinner tonight, let's go out to celebrate. Without delay, Tan Fong hurried home and took So-So to the bustling night commercial street in the center of Van Duong City, at a fancy restaurant. So-So grabbed food and chewed ravenously while mumbling, "Wow, this restaurant is super expensive. 1 meal must cost so much money, it's really a waste." Tan Fong confidently patted his chest and declared, "Little girl, what's the deal with being frugal? Very soon Big Brother will make you a noble." So sighed her eyes doubtful. "Big Brother, you're joking with me again? Many people with money can't even get promoted to nobility, let alone us." Tan Fong gently patted her head, smiling warmly. "I'm not joking. In the future, you won't need to work anymore. I will support the whole family." Big Brother, Big Brother, Big Brother, you're rich now, right?" Just as Tan Fong was about to reply, the regional loudspeaker announced, "Yesterday, Van Duong City's #1 young genius, Lam Thien Duong, successfully advanced to first-star ice elementalist, becoming the youngest elementalist in Van Duong history." Tan Fong paused thoughtful. The name Lam Thien Duong sounds strangely familiar. Meanwhile, So-So beside him exclaimed, "This Lam Thien Duong is really incredible. Only 24 years old and already an elementalist." Tan Fong frowned. "Is becoming an elementalist at 24 really that impressive?" So nodded rapidly. "Yes, many elementalists don't get promoted until they're 45. Uncle Tranmin is already 47, but still only a standard elementalist." Tan Fong was surprised. "Captain Tranmin is already 47. I thought he was only 30. In his mind appeared the image of the captain with fluffy hair and luscious lips. He murmured, "The lifespan of experts in the enhanced body realm and elementalists is definitely longer than normal people, so they look much younger. I heard elementalists can live up to 300 years old." "Ah, Big Brother." So excitedly continued, "Right. That's really impressive." "Big Brother, tell me more about your getting rich," Tan Fong said mysteriously, pulling out a bank card from his pocket. "It's not really a fortune, but now I'm a noble." Big Brother laughed and winked. "You don't need to ask, just know your brother is very powerful now." So moved, threw herself into a tight hug around Tan Fong with tears streaming down. "Big Brother is amazing!" Tan Fong patted her head, laughing loudly. "Little girl, why are you crying? Tomorrow, just quit your job. From now on, I'll support the family." Big Brother. So wiped her tears and smiled brightly. "Okay then, from now on, I'll stay home and cook for you every day." "Big Brother, tell me, do I look like your wife?" Tan Fong chuckled. "Little girl, you talk too much. Hurry and eat. If you want anything else, Big Brother will order after the meal." It was already late, and Tan Fong carried So home. She had fallen asleep on his back at some point, still mumbling, "Big Brother is amazing, even stronger than that Lam Thien Duong." Tan Fong smiled warmly upon hearing that this little girl is asleep, but still flattering her brother. Suddenly a memory flashed, and he remembered who Lam Thien Duong was. He was the older brother of Lam Hook Duong, the one in the old world who deliberately ran over So. That accident was no accident, and there were witnesses. Remembering the accident, Tan Fong gritted his teeth. Lam Hook Duong intentionally drove into So. Roadside cameras clearly recorded every detail, but when he demanded the footage to seek justice, the authorities claimed the data was suddenly corrupted and kicked him out. The witnesses were terrified and refused to testify against Lam Hook Duong, all because the Lam family was extremely powerful. The case was handled superficially. Lam Hook Duong was declared innocent and released. Tan Fong was unwilling to accept this and searched everywhere for evidence. During that process, he discovered Lam Hook Duong had an older brother studying abroad, Lam Thien Duong. Although he couldn't find a direct link between So and Lam Hook Duong, Tan Fong had a feeling Lam was hiding a dark secret. So-So's accident was not a coincidence, but a cover-up murder plot. Now that Lam Thien Duong has appeared in this world, Lam Huk Duong will surely show up as well. 2 days from now is the anniversary of So-So's accident in her previous life. Thinking of this, Tan Fong suddenly sat up with burning determination in his eyes. You must break through to Elementalist before Lam Huk Duong makes a move. You absolutely must kill him to protect So-So. The next day, Tan Fong returned to the city hall to meet Director Vuong to confirm his promotion. Witnessing his power, Vuong Tren was stunned and stammered like Ho Quin Huang's strong body realm, great perfection. Genuine and authentic, in just 1 day he has reached great perfection. Two amazing Tu Lu standing nearby with wide eyes secretly thought, this is incredible. Strong body. Great perfection at age 17. I heard even the city lord only reached this realm at 17. Tan Fong's achievements might even surpass the city lord in the future. Tan Fong retracted his aura, feeling proud. No wonder he's a peerless genius. Just 1 night of training to reach strong body, great perfection in the wind element. Usually geniuses take 2 to 3 years to reach this realm. He smiled and said to Director Vuong, please help me promote to Civil Rights Level 4. Vuong Tran immediately sent Tiu Lu to handle the paperwork. While waiting, Tan Fong turned to him seriously. Director Vuong, I also need your help with something else this time. Vuong Tran quickly replied respectfully, sir, whatever you need, just say it. If it's within my ability, I will definitely do it. Tan Fong nodded, pleased with Vuong Tran's enthusiasm, then went straight to the point decisively. Here's the thing. I have a younger brother named Tan Muk. He just came from another base to stay with me. I want to get him a migrant ID card first, or does he have to apply by himself? Vuong Tran laughed heartily. No problem, no need for that. If Tan Muk himself comes now, I can handle it immediately. Shortly after, the subsidy money was transferred into Tan Fong's bank account. The promotion procedures and certification for Tan Muk were also completed quickly. Tan Fong nodded gratefully. Director Vuong, I've troubled you this time. Yes. Vuong Tran waved his hand modestly. It's no trouble at all. After finishing, Tan Fong sighed thoughtfully. Lam Thien Duong is currently the center of attention in Van Duong City. If I show off my strength now, it might put Suo Suo in danger. With that thought, he hinted to Vuong Tran in a low voice. Director Vuong, I like to be modest. Please don't make my strength public. Vuong Tran nodded repeatedly. Lord Tan Fong, rest assured we will definitely keep it secret. After receiving that promise, Tan Fong said goodbye and left. After a while, he disguised himself as Tan Muk and confidently entered the room. May I ask if Director V. Kwang is here? Vuong Tran was surprised and stood up. Lord Tan Fong, why have you come back so soon? Tiu Lu beside him widened his eyes, heart pounding. Wow, this new look of Lord Tan Fong is just too handsome. Tan Fong cleared his throat and introduced himself. I am Tan Muk, younger brother of Tan Fong. Vuong Tran and Tiu Lu exclaimed in unison. No, not strange at all. But inside, both secretly thought it was very strange. Could it be he just changed clothes and came back to tease us? Tan Fong kept a calm face and continued lying. My brother and I are twins. If we look alike, what's so strange about that? Still suspicious. Vuong Tran asked Lord Tan Muk, what brings you here? Tan Fong replied with some annoyance. Here's the thing, I want to join the Van Duong branch with my brother. He took the liberty to get a migrant card for me. He threw the card on the table, pretending to be angry and joking. What's this? Does migrant Tan Muk not need a face? Right now, please help me promote to Civil Rights Level 4. After saying that, Tan Fong displayed his power, making Tiu Lu and Vuong Tran's eyes widen in astonishment. This is Thunder System Strong Sight Realm, great perfection in Thunder Element. After the demonstration, Tan Fong smiled proudly. So do you believe that my brother and I are siblings now? Vuong Tran quickly nodded repeatedly. Of course I believe it. He was no longer doubtful and said decisively, no one in the world has ever possessed multi-elemental talent. Lord Tan Fong is wind element and Lord Tan Muk is thunder element. They absolutely cannot be the same person. Yes. Tan Fong cleared his throat and threatened, so why are you still standing there? Hurry up and handle the paperwork. Yes, sir, please wait a moment. I will take care of it right away. In his heart, he silently thought that with such a hot temper, he definitely wasn't Lord Tan Fong. First, complete the procedures for Tan Muk quickly. Xiao Lu respectfully handed him a personal phone ID card and informed him that the subsidy money had been transferred to the account. Tan Fong nodded in satisfaction. Very good. You all keep busy and continue. I'm heading out. After Lord Tanmuk left, Wang Jun and Xiao Liu breathed a sigh of relief. Wang Jun muttered, "I didn't expect Lord Tan to have such a formidable younger brother." Xiao Liu nodded, eyes sparkling. "That's right. I wonder how their parents accumulated such virtue to have two outstanding children like them." They didn't know that in a hidden corner, Tan Fong was smiling smugly. Multiple talents truly are convenient. Just by changing clothes, I've earned an extra 100,000 yuan, enough to buy a beast core to speed up leveling. Holding the new phone, he muttered, "Now I have a new number to contact Soso." Looking at the beast core in his hand, Tan Fong sighed in frustration. Such a waste of money. I just worked hard to earn that 100,000 subsidy, and before I could even hold it warm, it's all gone. His lightning element refinement is currently at 93%. Just need to swallow the newly purchased beast core to complete the mission. Without hesitation, Tan Fong swallowed the beast core whole. The system immediately announced talent skill, activated divine devouring skill, successful devouring of level 1, lightning element, beast core. Lightning element refinement reached 100%. Congratulations to the player for completing the general training mission reward ice element, aptitude enhancement. Congratulations to the player for successfully enhancing ice element aptitude. The system continued to announce Cultivator Tan Fong's realm. Wind element, standard elemental, master lightning element, standard elemental, master ice element talent at genius level has yet to cultivate divine devouring talent skill. Combat power index, 324 points. Tan Fong nodded in satisfaction. Very good lightning element has reached standard elemental master, but ice element is only at genius level. Initial sensing degree only 0.5 growth is much harder than wind and lightning elements. Tan Fong clicked his tongue, muttering, "That's okay. Genius level talent is still quite rare." The system immediately announced, "Host has activated genius level ice element talent reward, level 4 ice element beast core." Instantly, a sparkling ice beast core appeared before Tan Fong's eyes. Without hesitation, he swallowed it whole. The system announced successful devouring of level 4 ice element beast core, ice element realm strengthened to late-stage ice element refinement, 67% combat power index, 477. Tan Fong nodded in satisfaction. Combat power of a first-rank elemental master is around 500, so below elemental master level I am practically unbeatable. Even if Soso encounters a beast on patrol the day after tomorrow, I'm confident I can help her escape safely. Now my only worry is Lam Hook Duong, the dangerous enemy from my previous life. Just then, the system announced the start of the Divine Level Challenge mission. Content: enter the challenge space. Complete high difficulty challenge. High-level activation condition: all 3 elements reach great perfection of strengthened realm. Low-level activation condition: all 3 elements reach first-rank elemental master. Hint: if challenge succeeds, the reward is extremely generous. Failure means death. Hearing death, Tan Fong turned pale and angrily shouted at the system, "How could you let the host die like that? Who are you, system?" The system coldly reminded the host, "Death in missions can be revived." Tan Fong breathed a sigh of relief, muttering, "You really scared me. Being able to revive isn't so bad. Looks like you still have some conscience." The system continued, "Each challenge attempt has 3 chances. If any element of the host breaks through to elemental master, the challenge qualification will be cancelled. Does the host accept the challenge?" Tan Fong hesitated, sweat beading on his forehead. Even though I can come back to life, this mission is still terrifying. However, he gritted his teeth. If I don't challenge now, I probably won't have another chance later. Humph, whatever, I'll take the risk. He roared, "System, I want to challenge." System confirmed selection successful. Reward divine level combat skill. Importing data in 5 seconds. Preparing to teleport to the Hell Realm. Countdown finished. Tan Fong was sucked into the Hell Realm space. Suddenly, a blazing fireball streaked past his head, making the air scorching hot. The system immediately announced in a cold voice, classification, common level spirit beast title, fire spirit level early strengthened realm. Tan Fong muttered, "So this fire is called fire spirit, not sure if it's threatening or not." Without overthinking, he lightly squeezed his hand and immediately sent a fire spirit back to the blissful realm. The system continued to announce received a level 1 core item. Note: cannot devour. The system will reclaim it for a price of 50,000 yuan. Tan Fong's eyes lit up as he grinned slyly. This can even be exchanged for money. Awesome. Exactly what I'm missing the most. He charged in to sweep up fire spirits fighting while earning money. The god-level combat skill granted by the system was indeed powerful, making him feel like he had 10 years of battle experience. Tanfong waved his arms excitedly, laughing with satisfaction. Before long, a pile of fire spirits had turned into cores. But the joy was short-lived. The ground beneath him suddenly cracked open, erupting a pillar of magma. Tanfong grabbed his leg and screamed, "Damn it, it's so hot it hurts so much!" The damage from the fire pillar was terrifyingly strong. If he hadn't dodged in time, he definitely would have been done for. Before he could recover, the ground sank again, causing him to lose balance and fall backward. Tanfong cursed. Damn it, why is this place full of deadly terrain? Luckily, he didn't fall into the lava flow. At that moment, a giant wild boar appeared, swallowing a fire spirit whole before turning to roar fiercely at Tanfong. System display. Common level spirit beast classification title. Furious wild boar rank. First stage spirit. High danger warning, win rate under 40%. Tanfong's face went pale in panic. This boar's combat strength matches a first-stage elemental master. The system activated a god-level challenge, kill the furious wild boar within 10 minutes. Tanfong couldn't help but shout, "Damn, it has strength equal to a first-stage elemental master, and you want me to kill it." The system gave him no time to think. A notification popped up. 3 seconds later, the challenge automatically began. 3, 2, 1, go. Countdown ended. The furious wild boar charged straight at Tanfong. He panicked and turned to run, yelling as he ran. Who's killing who here? Oh, God. Surviving these 10 minutes was the real challenge. Looking back at the boar chasing close behind, Tanfong gritted his teeth. If I can't hit it, at least I can run away. He quickly jumped to hide behind a large rock. The furious wild boar missed its charge, crashing into the big rock and causing it to explode. Tanfong's eyes widened as he exclaimed, dumbfounded that strong, and the boar wasn't hurt at all. It turned its head, eyes glowing red, and targeted Tanfong to continue the chase. Tanfong ran headlong, sweating profusely, cursing silently, damn it. At this speed, how am I supposed to fight that boar? All he could do was keep running and dodging. Fortunately, the furious wild boar was slow to react, so Tanfong easily avoided its charges. He muttered, if I can survive 10 minutes like this, it's fine, but failing the mission and missing the reward would be a shame. While lamenting, the ground beneath him suddenly erupted another pillar of fire. Tanfong quickly jumped aside in time to dodge. He patted his chest and sighed in relief. Damn, that hurts so much, almost forgot about these fire pillars. He frowned, becoming more cautious. The power of the fire pillar was enough to kill a first-stage elemental master. Luckily, it erupted in a pattern. Suddenly, Tanfong paused as a bold idea lit up his eyes. He clapped his hands and laughed loudly. I've got a plan! The furious wild boar charged again. Tanfong leaped up to cling to a cliff, observing the terrain and calculating quickly. The next fire pillar will erupt right over there. He jumped down and shouted provocatively, Hey, stupid pig, I'm here, come catch me. The furious wild boar roared wildly and chased after Tanfong, leading it exactly to the fire pillar's position. As predicted, a fire pillar burst from the ground, piercing the boar's belly and hurling it into the sky. Tanfong turned around with a smug smile. Gotcha, you stupid pig. The furious wild boar exploded mid-air, leaving behind a red stone that fell right where Tanfong stood. System notification title of core item level 6. Note, cannot devour. System reclaimed 5 million yuan. Tanfong caught the stone and shouted joyfully, 5 million this time. I'm rich. The joy doubled as the system continued to congratulate the player for completing the first God-level challenge reward. 1 level 4. Ice Attribute Beast Core 1. Perfect grade gene medicine, and a fragment of the Ice Seal talisman. Without waiting any longer, Tanfong took the Ice Element Beast Core sparkling in his hand and swallowed it. Devouring Divine Level skill activated. Soon the system announced the successful devouring of the Level 4 Ice Element Beast Core. Ice Chemical Substance reached 100% completion. Ice Seal progress 1%. Feeling power surge through his body, Tanfong nodded, his eyes shining brightly. The ice element had reached its peak. Tanfong shouted excitedly, the ice element has also met the elemental master standard. He took out the Gen medicine bottle, eyes sparkling as he observed and recalled old knowledge. He thought silently, Gen medicine refined from beast cores is often used by those without elemental master talent to become warrior genes to gain strength and upgrade status. Warrior genes are divided into 4 levels corresponding to physical strengthening stages. Early is level 1, mid is level 2, Late is level 3 and Great Perfection is level 4. Great. But gen medicine on the market usually has serious side effects. Failure means death, and the higher the level, the greater the risk. A normal person has only a 16.8% chance of success becoming a warrior gene. Understanding Tan Fong's worry, the system reminded the perfect level 1 gen medicine has no side effects and 100% effectiveness enhancement. Tan Fong's eyes lit up with a radiant smile. No side effects, that's wonderful. Curiously, he activated the system center. An info panel appeared listing gen medicine from level 1 to 4. Tan Fong was astonished, exclaiming that prices matched ordinary gen medicine on the market, but without side effects. It's truly worth every penny. Excited, he thought with perfect gen medicine he and So could safely reach great perfection, physical strengthening without danger. With my protection, So will be even safer, very promising. Tan Fong searched more in the system center but frowned, complaining about the limited products. The system promptly replied it would unlock more rare items based on the host's cultivation level. Tan Fong nodded in understanding, recalling when So was tested for talent. She had 2 elemental systems ice element at 4.9 sensitivity and a mysterious system at 9.9, just short of awakening. It is said this mysterious system is extremely rare. Only 3 cases have been recorded worldwide. Unfortunately, without awakening, the specific attribute will never be known. Text revision note. Tan Fong's eyes shone brightly, thinking that So might also have a chance to become an elemental master in the future. He pushed thoughts of So aside and focused on the urgent matter he had to improve his own strength. Helping So become an elemental master was a future matter. He muttered, "At first I planned to try the gen medicine on So immediately, but now I need to consider more carefully." Without hesitation, Tan Fong decisively ordered the system to reclaim the core. A vortex appeared immediately, sucking all cores from his storage ring. The system announced the reclamation was complete, refunding the host 5.75 million shu. Tan Fong was amazed, exclaiming, "Making money by fighting monsters is so fast." He opened the store panel and ordered the system, "I want to buy level 1 and level 2 gen medicine 2 bottles." The screen showed the items and notified a deduction of 4.5 million shu. Without hesitation, Tan Fong took the 2 bottles of gen medicine and used them immediately. Soon the system announced the perfect level gen medicine was successfully refined, raising combat power by 570 points. Tan Fong nodded with satisfaction, confirming there were indeed no side effects. At this rate, after finishing level 4 gen medicine, my combat power could reach 700 points, equivalent to an early mid-level elemental master. Then he took the final reward, a sparkling shard. The system displayed the item name Ice Seal Shard, noted as able to be devoured to accelerate ice seal condensation. Tan Fong smiled brightly. This is indeed a good item. He threw the Ice Seal Shard into his mouth, activating the devouring divine skill. The ice element power in his body surged instantly. The system announced the successful devouring of the Ice Seal Shard. Ice seal condensation reached 30%. Tan Fong couldn't help but exclaim, 30%, that's really strong. He opened his personal panel to check Cultivator Tan Fong Wind Element Realm Standard. Elemental Master Divine Seal, 11%. Lightning Element Standard Elemental Master Seal, 0%. Ice Element Standard Elemental Master Seal, 30%. A Divine Level Devouring Talent Skill, Combat Power 570 points. He thought silently condensation of the Divine Seal is usually a long process. Even a genius-level talent takes a year. An ordinary talent needs 10 years to condense it. Thank heavens this Divine Seal Shard increased progress by 30% in just a few minutes. Just then the system announced that the pause time had expired. The host will be expelled from the Hell Realm in 10 seconds. When the countdown ended, Tan Fong's body immediately vanished. Tan Fong appeared right where he was before entering the Hell Realm. He breathed a sigh of relief, finally surviving and returning. The system immediately announced the activation of the second Divine Challenge. The rewards are higher than before. Do the hosts want to participate immediately? The announcement startled Tan Fong. He lifted his chin and pondered. Higher rewards plus Divine Challenge entry fees. This is truly a rare opportunity. Missing it as an elementalist would be like throwing away a golden chance. However, he carefully thought that to win all 3 matches this time, he needed to prepare thoroughly. Thinking and acting, Tan Fong rushed to the weapon shop. As soon as he stepped in, he firmly requested the shopkeeper to get him a set of advanced warrior gear. The shopkeeper nodded quickly and laid out on the table a titanium alloy sword, a high-powered copper rocket launcher, 3 specially made armor-piercing rounds, and 100 automated mines with large explosive power. Tan Fong nodded in satisfaction and thanked him. He transferred payment via phone and stored all the gear into his storage ring before leaving. Jumping from roof to roof, Tan Fong looked for a secluded place to accept the challenge. He thought to himself that although the damage to beasts was low, the gear was cheap. With this preparation, I will definitely complete the challenge. Proudly hopping around, he carelessly slipped and fell to the ground. Panicking, he shouted, "Oh my God, you scared me to death." Fortunately, his enhanced body helped him remain unharmed. If he were an ordinary person, he would have died or been crippled. Before he could sit up, a purple-haired girl pulling her skirt almost sat on his head. Tan Fong was dazed. "What's going on here?" His voice startled the girl, who turned around abruptly. Seeing Tan Fong lying at her feet, her face flushed red as she shouted, "You pervert!" Her scream attracted a female escort running in from the alley. Seeing Tan Fong, she angrily yelled, "You damn pervert! How dare you spy on the young lady while she's going to the bathroom? Die!" The female escort pulled out 2 machine guns and fired continuously at Tan Fong. He dodged the bullets while protesting, "What the heck? Who would want to spy on her? How was I supposed to know she was here?" The female escort ignored him and kept firing fiercely. Forcing Tan Fong to roll and dodge with no other choice, he hurriedly ordered the system, "Activate Divine Challenge immediately." The system responded at once, preparing to enter the Xeeling Realm map. Within seconds, Tan Fong's body disappeared from the alley. The female escort stood dumbfounded, cursing, "How did that brat disappear like that? Run that fast." The purple-haired girl stepped forward, tapping the female escort's shoulder with a questioning tone. "Little spirit, didn't I tell you to keep watch?" The female escort worriedly replied, "Miss, I was watching, staring down the alley, but who knew he fell from the sky?" The purple-haired girl blushed and burst into tears. "Ah, how embarrassing, I want to die, I don't want to live anymore." The female escort awkwardly didn't know how to comfort her. She thought to herself that it was truly embarrassing. Miss Tu Chi, the daughter of the city lord, usually so noble and proper, was caught in such an embarrassing moment. Tu Chi kept crying, "It's all because my father made me drink spiritual water to boost my water element cultivation. Who knew the side effects would be this severe? I can't bear it." Sobbing, "My reputation is ruined for life." The female escort whispered, "The city lord ordered that after drinking spiritual water you must not leave the house for 1 day. Tu Chi suddenly grabbed her shoulder with a cold gaze. "Don't tell anyone about this." The female escort quickly nodded. "Yes, miss, I understand." In the Xeeling realm, a beam of light descended from the sky. Tan Fong stepped out and looked around, murmuring, "Is this the Xeeling realm? Escaping those girls and ending up here. What's going on?" Suddenly, he spotted 2 wild horses engulfed in strange blue flames. Tan Fong activated the system to scan and classify the creatures as common-level spirit beasts. Named Wild Horse Xeeling, Level 1 Spirit Early Stage. His eyes lit up greedily. A Level 6 Xeeling Wild Horse, the system gave no danger warning. Looks like I can take it down. Level 6 Spirit Core can be exchanged for 5 million yuan. Just as Tan Fong prepared to strike, a shadow flashed past and slashed, sending the wild horse's head flying. At the same time, the system announced the activation of the God-level challenge. The objective: kill the Spirit Dry Dragon King within 10 minutes. Tan Fong startled and cursed. Killing a Level 6 elite spirit with 1 strike is like defeating a first star mid-stage in a flash. He quickly checked the information on the Spirit Dry Dragon King. Elite Level 7 first star mid-stage. Equipped with the Bloodbone Blade, a low-grade primal weapon. Extremely dangerous alert. Win rate below 20%. Luke Tan Fong drew his titanium alloy sword from his storage ring, gritting his teeth. Damn, Level 7 on par with first star mid-stage, and a win rate below 20% means no advantage. He muttered, a low-grade primal weapon made from rare materials and secret techniques that can nullify elemental attacks. Worth 100, 500,000. If I get this blade, I'll get rich. The system announced the battle start and automatically timed 10 minutes. Tan Fong shook his head to clear his wandering thoughts, gripping the sword tightly with both hands, and shouted, "All right, come at me!" But the Spirit Dry Dragon King seemed to ignore him. It continued chasing the wild spirit horse. Tan Fong was stunned. Am I being underestimated? This chance you gave me, I have to make good use of it. He quietly looked for a suitable position to set up the battlefield. After a moment, Tan Fong stopped in an area hidden from the opponent's sight. He nodded approvingly. This spot will do. He took a bunch of automated mines from his storage ring, activated their standby mode, and threw them on the ground. The spinning mines embedded deeply into the earth, perfectly concealed. Tan Fong smiled. Good, the seismic traps are set. The resting spot is okay too. Now it's time to deal with the main target. He drew his rocket launcher and aimed straight at the Spirit Dry Dragon King. Its speed is too fast. Armor-piercing bullets can't keep up. I have to calculate precisely. Tan Fong decisively fired an armor-piercing round, causing a big explosion. Not stopping there, he fired 2 more rounds, turning the whole area into smoke and fire. Tan Fong anxiously waited. When the smoke cleared, he was stunned. The Spirit Dry Dragon King was still standing there unharmed, cold eyes staring straight at him. Tan Fong widened his eyes. Huh? Super powerful armor-piercing bullets didn't even scratch it. No wonder it's a level 7 elite monster on par with First Star mid-stage. Though shocked, he remained calm. Yes, I planned for this. Tan Fong smiled confidently because he still had a trump card left. Tan Fong stood up, snapped his fingers to taunt, "Come at me!" Continuously teased by Tan Fong, the Spirit Dry Dragon King roared in anger and charged straight at him. Tan Fong chuckled silently. Hey, it took the bait. 5 minutes left, I have to quickly take it down with 100 powerful mines. He led the Spirit Dry Dragon King to the automated minefield area, slipped behind a large rock, and covered his ears tightly as the monster stepped on the first mine. A deafening explosion triggered a chain reaction, setting off a series of mines, simultaneously filling the air with thick smoke and dust. Tan Fong swung his sword and stepped out from behind the rock, grinning with satisfaction. Finally done! One hand rested on his sword as he approached to see the Spirit Dry Dragon King badly wounded, kneeling in a deep pit, supporting itself with one hand on the sword. Tan Fong jumped down laughing proudly. Ha, just as I predicted. Your defense is strong, but the cumulative damage is enough to take you down. The Spirit Dry Dragon King lunged forward, swinging its blade, but the heavy injuries made it slow. Tan Fong sneered, Humph. Such a small talent daring to try to fool a master. He easily dodged and unleashed a combo called Heavenly Dragon Supreme Earth Treasury Demon Roar. In an instant, Tan Fong beheaded the Spirit Dry Dragon King. 2 items appeared beside the corpse. Tan Fong picked them up and checked the item names. Level 7 core note says, Cannot be devoured, system recovers 10,000,000. He laughed loudly. 10,000,000, I'm getting rich. The second item, named Bloodbone Blade, low-grade primal weapon effect, 100% nullification of elemental attack power. Tan Fong was ecstatic, delighted, holding the blade, shouting, low-grade primal weapon with 100% nullification, rare, worth at least 500,000,000. Then suddenly, he turned to the herd of wild spirit horses, smiled dangerously, and holding the Bloodbone Blade charged at one, saying, Sorry, I'll borrow you to test 1/. Thanks to the sharpness of the Bloodbone Blade, the horse immediately collapsed. Excited, Tan Fong continued hunting and collected several level 6 cores, caressing the Bloodbone Blade, silently deciding not to sell it. With it, his combat power would soar. But for the remaining time in the spirit horse realm, Tan Fong focused on one thing, hunting wild spirit horses to collect cores. Each level 6 core orb is worth 5 million yuan a deal, not to be missed for someone as short on cash as you. You keep cutting down enemies, and the level 6 core orbs gradually fill up your storage ring. Tan Fong couldn't help but laugh loudly. Ha, this time I'm really rich. Just then, the challenge time ended, and the system announced the God-level challenge time was up. A pillar of light enveloped Tan Feng and teleported him outside. When he woke up, he immediately became alert, looking around to confirm that Tu Teach and the female escort had left. Tan Feng sighed in relief. Phew, they're all gone. Being a lone warrior is definitely not easy. I won't recklessly sneak into those dark alleys anymore. The system continued to congratulate the user on completing the God-level challenge for the second time. The reward: a fragment of the Wind God Seal, a fragment of the Ice God Seal, a fragment of the Thunder God Seal, and a skill stone. The abundant rewards made Tan Feng's eyes light up. Knowing the use of the God Seal fragments, he was curious and took out the skill stone to examine it. Item title, Skill Stone with Fierce Strike, classified as an extremely rare artifact noted to be able to be devoured. Tanfeng smiled brightly. I can devour it again. Then I'll just swallow it. He threw all the God Seal fragments and the Skill Stone into his mouth, activating the Devour skill. Moments later, the system continuously announced, successfully devoured the Thunder God Seal fragment. God Seal concentration increased by 30%. Successfully devoured the Ice God Seal fragment. God Seal concentration increased by 30%. Successfully devoured the Wind God Seal fragment. God Seal concentration increased by 30%. Successfully devoured the Skill Stone, acquired the skill Fierce Strike. Tanfeng opened his personal panel to check his cultivator status. Tanfeng is a Wind Elemental Mage with a God Seal mastery at 41%, a Thunder Elemental Mage at 30%, an Ice Elemental Mage at 60%, possessing a God-level innate Devour skill, the combat skill, Fierce Strike, which instantly doubles combat power. He nodded with satisfaction. Not bad Wind Element at 41% plus a combat skill with 3 Elemental Mages. Rarely does anyone comprehend a combat skill. But then he doubted devouring God Seal fragments and skill stones felt different from devouring Beast Core cells, as if they were reconstructed much stronger. He shook his head. Well, I'll try more later and see. Then Tanfeng shouted decisively, ordering the system to immediately retrieve all core orbs. The system immediately responded that it had retrieved the core orbs and credited the user with 25 million yuan. Without hesitation, he continued ordering to buy level 3 and level 4 gene drugs. The system announced purchase success, deducting 13 million yuan. Then Tanfeng tightly held 2 bottles of gene drugs, tilted his head back, and gulped both down. The system announced congratulations to the user for perfect reconstruction with level 3 gene drugs combat power increased by 75 points. Immediately after another announcement, congratulations to the user for perfect reconstruction with level 4 gene drugs. Combat power increased by 75 points. Tanfeng is now an elemental mage with a god-level innate Devour skill, reaching a combat power rating of 700 points. He smiled smugly and mumbled, 700 points already. Combat power has reached the threshold of 1-star mid-stage. These gene drugs really are powerful. Without stopping, he spent another 8 million yuan from the system center to buy level 2 and level 3 gene drugs. Holding 2 bottles of gene drugs, Tanfeng whispered softly, I can't always be with Suo everywhere. This little girl becoming a warrior gene in this chaotic world means she'll have a bit of ability to protect herself. He carefully stored the 2 gene drug bottles in his storage ring and prepared to leave when a notification popped up. User, you still have 1 last God Seal challenge opportunity. The rewards will be extremely generous. Do you want to start the challenge? Wait! Tanfeng sneered and shook his head, refusing, not starting for now. In his heart, he calculated that with this outdated system, the difficulty of the 3rd challenge would definitely be double the previous ones. If I'm not confident I can pass, better to wait, though missing this final reward would be a pity. He suddenly realized a weakness of the system. The system assesses the opponent's strength in the challenge without considering equipment or weapons. This is probably a software bug. I have to take advantage of this. Deciding this, Tanfeng shook his head and muttered, Let's just go home. Go home. If I don't return to Suo, she'll definitely worry a lot. When he reached the refugee area, Tanfeng saw Captain Tron standing next to a magnificent battle vehicle. He excitedly showed off, See that? See that, the F-47 battle vehicle, titanium alloy armor, nuclear reaction propulsion S-Year 5.7. Market price at least 60 million. Truly a luxurious and valuable vehicle. The crowd around buzzed with excitement. Wow, this warship is really top-notch. Yes, is it possible to buy this vehicle? If it's the rich, then he must be a master elementalist from the refugee camp. Do we even still have masters of that level? Captain Tron posed beside the vehicle and called out to Xiao Zhou. Quick, take a picture of me with this vehicle. 1, 2, 3, got it, one more shot. But when he saw Tanfeng approaching, he immediately exclaimed, Oh, Tanfeng is back. People around quickly turned and greeted enthusiastically, Tanfeng, done with work already. Tanfeng, you're off work early today. Tanfeng raised his hand to acknowledge everyone, then stepped forward curiously, asking someone in the crowd, Whose vehicle is this? Why is it parked here? The person honestly replied, "Don't know, we just got here too, so no idea." Tan Fong pondered his gaze drifting over the vehicle. For some reason, he felt a bad premonition. Since Tan Fong appeared, Captain Tron had been silently observing him. Full of surprise, he thought to himself, "Could I be sensing this wrong?" Tan Fong's aura is clearly different from before. He looks ordinary but radiates a domineering aura like a mature 18-year-old man plus handsome. Tan Fong seemed to notice Captain Tron's strange gaze. He turned and caught him looking at him oddly, making him mutter quietly, "Why do I suddenly feel so chilled?" Suddenly a shout rang out. "They're out!" Everyone immediately focused their eyes in that direction. 2 Gen soldiers, each holding a shining titanium alloy weapon, stepped out first. They quickly stood at attention on either side of the door as if waiting for someone. Next, a white-haired man wearing glasses strolled out. Seeing him, Tan Fong frowned slightly and muttered, "Hey, this guy looks somewhat familiar." The white-haired man glanced at the crowd, pointing fingers, scowled, and shouted, "What a pack of dogs in a stinky gutter, get lost!" With that shout, he released an intimidating aura. Most of the crowd, being ordinary people, couldn't withstand the pressure and kept retreating, creating a wide, empty space. Tan Fong also felt the pressure but stood firm. He thought to himself, "Oh, that power is strong." Those on the outer edge, unaffected, began whispering, "Oh my God, who is that?" But compared to the fully equipped Gen soldiers, he was even more terrifying. A boy fell to the ground, pale and trembling, pointing at the white-haired man's chest. "Look quickly, that's the Southern Medal." Captain Tron hurriedly pulled the boy's hand, whispering a scolding, "Damn kid, don't just point around recklessly. He could be a master elementalist." Tan Fong heard this, his eyes showing suspicion. "Elementalist," Captain Tron nodded firmly. "No doubt about it. Just based on the aura, even a standard elementalist like me would feel suppressed. It can only be a master elementalist. Besides, only a master elementalist has the rank to accept others. Even with money at best, you're just a rights holder completely unqualified to hold rank." The white-haired man ignored the crowd. He led the 2 Gen soldiers onto the battle vehicle and left. Only then did everyone breathe a sigh of relief and began to chatter again. "Was that really a master elementalist just now?" "So yes, this is the first time I've seen a master elementalist. He truly has spirit." Someone couldn't help but ask Captain Tron, "Captain Tran, how many stars does that master elementalist have?" Captain Tron stroked his chin and replied thoughtfully, "His rank is Baron, so that's 1 star." Tan Fong watched the vehicle slowly disappear deep in thought. He vaguely felt that the silver-haired man was strangely familiar. He tried to dig through his memory but couldn't recall. Suddenly a flash of light sparked in his mind. "Wait a moment, let me remember." Finally, memories from his past life flooded back. After So-So died tragically, Tan Fong once ran to the Lin family gate, screaming madly, "Lin Hook Duong, come out here, you killed So-So! I will never forgive you." The noise made the silver-haired man with glasses lead a group of subordinates out and coldly bark, "Humph, you're just a mad dog barking nonsense. You're not worthy to meet our young master. Beat him up for me now." Immediately, the subordinates rushed in and ruthlessly beat Tan Fong, then threw him outside. Back to reality, Tan Fong's eyes widened, suspicion rising in his heart. He was the butler back then. He is someone from the Lam family. A terrifying thought flashed. Someone from the Lam family showing up recently. Could it be that So-So has been... The image of So-So's tragic death in the past life appeared, making his chest feel suffocated. Without hesitation, Tan Fong rushed home at top speed, his heart screaming non-stop, "So-So, could it be that So-So—" No, absolutely cannot let So-So be in danger again. Arriving, Tan Fong pushed the door open wide, shouting, "So-So, are you okay?" So-So was sitting at the dining table holding a piece of meat ready to eat, startled by his shout. She forced a smile and made an excuse. "Huh? Dad, you're back already. I wasn't sneaking food, just wanted to taste it." Seeing So-So safe, Tan Fong breathed a sigh of relief. He was amused and almost laughing at her naive words. During the meal, Tan Fong calmly asked, "So-So, did someone just come to our house?" So-So's eyes widened in surprise. "Oh, how did you know?" The answer made his heart tighten. Sure enough, the Lam family had come to the door. Despite his worry, Tan Fong kept a calm exterior and continued asking, "Who were those people? What did they want?" So-So chewed her meat while answering, "They came to get the phone back." Tan Fong frowned suspiciously. "Get the phone back?" So recounted innocently. Well, that's what happened. Today on the way home from school, I happened to pick up a phone. I waited half a day and no one came to look for it, so I took it home. Then the owner called and told them the address so they could come get it. They sent someone to retrieve it. Before leaving, they gave me 10,000 yuan as a thank you, but I didn't accept it. Now thinking back, I kinda regret not taking that 10,000 yuan. Tanfong laughed gently, rubbing Soso's head, saying it was right not to accept it. I have money, I don't need their money. But inside, he blamed himself. It was all because I wasn't good enough before making Soso suffer hunger. He silently vowed that from today on, he would give Soso a truly good life. Back at his seat, Tanfong sank into thought. He told himself that phone definitely belonged to Lam Huk Duong. Losing that elemental master was probably because he sent someone to retrieve it. But the problem is Soso already returned the phone. So why does Lam Huk Duong still want to harm her? A thought flashed, making him frown. Could the phone have a problem? Tanfong turned to Soso and asked if she had looked through the phone yet. Was there anything special inside? Anything unusual? Soso frowned, trying to recall. Tanfong waited silently. After a moment, she exclaimed as if she remembered something. Before they came, that phone received a strange message. The message basically said there would be a transaction at midnight 3 days later at La Hoa Mountain. Hearing this, Tanfong frowned slightly, thinking La Hoa Mountain is a place where wild beasts and vicious beasts gather. What kind of transaction can't be done inside the city that must be done at such a dangerous place? And at midnight, that's really strange. My intuition tells me the reason Lam Huk Duong wants to harm Soso is probably related to this message. It must be hiding a secret he doesn't want anyone to know, so he planned to kill to silence her. Tanfong continued asking Soso if she saw who sent the message. Soso hesitated and shook her head, saying she didn't remember. It seemed like someone named Chow. Seeing Tanfong keep asking about the phone, Soso suspiciously and worriedly spoke up, "Bro, why are you asking so many questions? It's not related to us anyway. Is something wrong?" Tanfong forced a smile, waving his hand to reassure nothing. I was just asking casually. After a pause, he seriously suggested to Soso that in a few days they should move to a residential area. This decision comes from concern for Soso's safety. Her location has been exposed and this refugee area is too chaotic. Leaving Soso here, Tanfong can't feel at ease. Soso hesitated worriedly and said, "Bro, living in the residential area will cost a lot of money." Tanfong smiled warmly. Money was not an issue. "Come here, I have a surprise for you." Hearing this, Soso's eyes widened excitedly as she asked, "What surprise?" Tanfong took out a new phone and placed it in her hands. "Oh, this phone is for you." Soso took it, her eyes shining brightly as she happily examined it. "Wow, I have my own phone now, that's awesome." Tanfong smiled mysteriously. "What do you think about this? And there's more." He continued to take out 3 bottles of energy potion. Soso tilted her head curiously and asked, "What is this?" Then Tanfong smiled gently, not answering right away. "Drink it and you'll understand." Trusting Tanfong completely. So didn't hesitate and grabbed the 3 bottles, gulping them down quickly. Watching her, Tanfong thought silently that the day Soso got into trouble was coming. Now I must help her gain the ability to protect herself. After drinking, Soso suddenly felt her body changing. She cheered, her eyes shining brightly. "Wow, I feel like my whole body is full of energy." Seeing this, Tanfong nodded with satisfaction. He took out an iron rod and handed it to Soso. "Try bending this." Soso took it surprised and exclaimed, "Oh, I feel like my whole body is full of endless strength. What did you give me to drink?" As she spoke, she easily bent the iron rod into the shape of an animal and proudly showed it to Tanfong, her face beaming. Tanfong gave a thumbs up in praise and smiled. "That's the energy potion. It can turn you into an energy warrior. Plus, it has no side effects at all." Soso was startled and exclaimed, "Energy warrior! Now I'm an energy warrior!" Tanfong held up 3 fingers and corrected, "A 3rd-level energy warrior. Even stronger than a regular energy warrior." He silently calculated that next time, if Soso used a level 4 energy potion, her combat power could reach 200 points. At that point, no one except an elemental master could harm her. Soso happily shouted, "That's great, you're amazing." She threw herself into Tanfong's arms, but since she hadn't yet controlled her strength, she almost made him spit out the food he'd just swallowed. Tanfong thought to himself, "This energy is much stronger than I expected." Meanwhile, in the center of Vanduong City, in the Lin family mansion, the head of the family, Lam Kiem Hao, was angrily scolding Lam Huk Duong, calling him stupid and foolish. You can't even handle such a small task. What a useless waste. Turning with disappointment, he said, "Your older brother is dedicated to training and has no time to manage family matters. But I just gave you your first mission and you've already made a mistake. You're truly useless." Lam Huk Duong stammered as he tried to explain himself. Nearby, Bok Tu Tam sneered and muttered disdainfully, "Both young masters making mistakes this time is just pathetic." And losing the phone to contact Chu Trong Thong. After scolding, Lam Kiem Hao looked at Bok Tu and asked in a low voice, "Besides that girl, is there anyone else who could have seen that message?" Bok Tu immediately replied no. Although that girl lives with her brother, when the subordinates arrived, only she was at home. Lam Huk Duong quickly interjected, "The phone has been recovered now. That girl is just a refugee. Even if she saw the message, she wouldn't understand anything." Lam Kiem Hao shook his head in disappointment and explained seriously, "In 2 days our major event will happen. If that girl figures out the message, she will definitely guess the truth." Lam Huk Duong stubbornly tried to justify she's just a lowly refugee after all. Even if she speaks up, who would believe her? The son stubbornly argued back. Lam Kiem Hao angrily slammed his hand on the table and shouted thunderously, "You useless fool, still standing here making excuses. You're all my sons. Why are you so much weaker than Thien Duong Lam Huk Duong?" Inside, Lam Huk Duong felt a wave of resentment rise up. "Again with this," he thought silently. "Compared to my older brother, I don't have the talent of an elemental master like him, nor can my strength compare. The power still can't compare. But even though you're both sons, why does father always look down on him like that?" Bok Tuk, standing beside, noticed Lam Huk Duong's increasingly grim expression, fearing he might blurt out something foolish. Bok Tuk quickly reached out and gently patted his shoulder soothingly, saying, "Sir, those 2 young masters were really reckless. They even dared to take such a deadly, dangerous gene drug. I just regret that iron was not forged into steel." Lam Kiem Hao's face remained heavy like dark clouds, placing his hand on Lam Huk Duong's shoulder, his voice deep but authoritative. "Huk Duong, we risked carrying out this plan so that your future older brother could become the city lord, and so you would have the chance to become an elementalist. If any news leaks out, everything will fall apart. Even though that girl is unlikely to reveal anything, such risks cannot be allowed." Lam Huk Duong was startled. A fierce look briefly crossed his face, and he nodded resolutely. "Father, I understand. I will arrange it now and definitely resolve this matter properly." After saying that, he turned and decisively left the room. The space fell silent for a moment before Lam Kiem Hao spoke again with an icy tone, issuing orders. "Bok Tuk, you discreetly monitor the 2 young masters. Protect them well and ensure this matter is resolved thoroughly, leaving no consequences behind. If necessary, even their older brother must be eliminated." Bok Tuk smiled slyly, replying curtly, "Understood, sir." The next day, Tan Fong leisurely led So-So into the bustling commercial street at the Van Duong city base. Along the way, many curious eyes were fixed on them, accompanied by whispers. "Look, that little girl is really cute. And her older brother is handsome, too." So wore a brand new, splendid battle armor, her eyes sparkling with joy as she turned to Tan Fong, cheerfully saying, "Big brother, tell me, do I look pretty dressed like this?" Tan Fong smiled, looking at his little sister with affectionate eyes. "Very pretty, of course you are. But not only pretty. This armor is crafted from the hide of the highest-level magical beast, offering extremely high defense capable of blocking attacks from level 4 fierce beasts. That's why I bought one for both you and me." So-So's eyes widened in surprise. She initially thought the armor was just beautiful but didn't expect such incredible power hidden within. "Wow, it feels so soft when touched, but the defense is that high," and she exclaimed excitedly. Tan Fong forced a smile, silently sighing. "That's right." He answered, "So it's very expensive. These 2 sets cost me 2.3 million plus the armored cleansing sword. My small treasury is almost empty." So tilted her head curiously and asked, "Big brother, you're a local official? You don't have to patrol, so why did you also buy a magical beast armor?" Tan Fong gently rubbed her head, his voice soft but firm. "Of course it's to protect you. Didn't I tell you that now you're a Gen soldier even stronger than a standard elemental master?" Hearing this, So-So's eyes lit up. She spread her arms to show off her muscles proudly. So was so strong, and her naive action made Tan Fong laugh. "You silly girl." He teased, "Right now you have no combat power and no experience, so how can I feel at ease?" So was hit right in the heart. So she cheekily stuck out her tongue and changed the subject with a mischievous smile. Tanfong didn't want to argue further with his playful little sister. Sharp calculations quietly formed in his mind. With the new armor and weapons, even a level 4 fierce beast would hardly be able to harm So. As for himself, after a night of intense training, his completion level of the Wind and Thunder Seals increased by 11%. However, his ice affinity improved more slowly, only increasing by 0.5%. At this rate, he would need at least 4 more days to break through to first-rank Elemental Master. To speed up progress, he had to participate in the 3rd-level Divine Challenge. Still, he secretly thought he should buy another elemental weapon set for more safety. But the price of these elemental-grade weapons reached hundreds of millions, really giving him a headache as his wallet was running dry. While Tanfong was lost in thought, a loud quarrel from the Gen Medicine shop ahead abruptly interrupted his train of thought. A crowd gathered excitedly, surrounding like watching a show. At the center, a young man stood boldly in front of the shop, shouting angrily, "Why won't you sell to this young master? First-grade Gen Medicine already costs over 1.5 million on the market. Now I offer 5 million, yet you still refuse to sell. What do you mean by this? Are you looking down on this young master?" The shop owner's face turned pale hurriedly, waving his hands to explain, No, how could that be?" Seeing the young man still enraged, he trembled and continued, "Is it because my price isn't high enough? So 15 million is enough, right?" The crowd immediately buzzed loudly, whispers echoing everywhere. 15 million heavens paying 10 times the price. But the shop owner's face grew even more awkward, bowing his head slightly to explain, "Young Master Wang, we really don't want to refuse selling. It's just that the City Lord has issued orders not to sell Gene Medicine to you. Otherwise, we would be severely punished." Hearing this, the young man grew even angrier, veins bulging as he shouted, City Lord, what does it have to do with him if someone wants to buy Gene Medicine?" The shop owner could only smile awkwardly, repeatedly bowing his head in apology without responding. Tanfong, standing among the crowd, couldn't help but feel curious. He quietly leaned over and asked Susu, "Who is that person? Why would the City Lord forbid selling Gene Medicine to him?" Susu's eyes widened as she looked at her older brother in surprise. "Brother, you don't know anything. That person is Wang Xiaoyang, Master Wang, the grandson of the old City Lord of Yunyang City. He doesn't have the talent for cultivation, but refuses to be an ordinary person, so he wants to rely on Gene Medicine to become a Gene Warrior. But using Gene Medicine could endanger his life. The old City Lord has issued a strict prohibition to prevent him from using Gene Medicine at all costs. And the current City Lord, being the old City Lord's disciple, naturally has to follow this order." Hearing Susu's explanation, a bold idea flashed in Tanfong's mind. He thought to himself that this young Master Wang seemed to be quite wealthy. Just when he was in trouble, meeting someone like this was a godsend opportunity. He glanced at Wang Xiao, who was still growling in front of the shop. "If something really happened to you, could we escape being implicated? Did you forget there are still people from the old City Lord watching you closely?" Wang Xiao gritted his teeth in fury and shouted, "Damn it, stupid idiotic! Please, just let me go." While Wang Xiao and the shop owner were still arguing back and forth without end, Tanfong calmly stepped forward with a meaningful smile. His eyes sparkling with a mischievous glint, he cleverly hinted at selling Gene Medicine to Wang Xiao. Suddenly, an old man in white, who always stuck closely to Wang Xiao like his shadow, stepped forward to block his young master. He narrowed his eyes at Tanfong, his tone cold and threatening. "Do you know what you're doing? The City Lord clearly said no one is allowed to sell Gene Medicine to our young master. Are you unaware of this rule, or do you just not want to live anymore?" After speaking, the old man unleashed his power, revealing the aura of a first-star Fengyuan master. His imposing presence swept like a gust of wind. But Tanfong was not intimidated. He slightly curled at the corner of his mouth, his eyes calm. He thought to himself that overall his strength even surpassed this old man. Wang Xiao refused to stand still and immediately interrupted with an annoyed tone. "Liu Ba, even if something happens to me, I'll take responsibility myself. I don't need you to manage me." Liu Ba turned sternly to Wang Xiao, his voice low but resolute. "Young master, your physique is different from ordinary people. Your ability to reject Gene Medicine is really strong. The success rate of first-level gene medicine for ordinary people is about 80%, but for you, it's only about 50%. If that weren't the case, the old city lord wouldn't have strictly forbidden you from using gene medicine. Without giving Wang Xiao a chance to respond, Liu Ba turned to Tan Fong, his eyes cold. Kid, don't try to make money by speculation, and don't gamble with your fragile life. Get lost. Tan Fong held the vial of gene medicine, smiled confidently, his voice calm but persuasive. Sir, please rest assured. I'm not here to gamble with lives, because my gene medicine has no side effects. The success rate is 100%. Wang Xiao and Liu Ba both exclaimed in shock. What? Is there really such a thing? The surrounding crowd also buzzed with excitement, unable to hide their astonishment. Gene medicine with no side effects. 100% success rate. How is that possible? Even the best gene medicine on the market today only achieves an 82% success rate. Tan Fong didn't miss the chance and continued speaking passionately. Not only that its effect can double the combat power. Hearing this, Wang Xiao's eyes shone brightly like stars, his heart filled with excitement. To make it more convincing, Tan Fong pretended to be emotional. His eyes glistened as if about to tear up, telling an inspiring story. But this gene drug took my master countless years and resources to develop. You could say it was his wholehearted effort. So the price? Wang Tiu couldn't hold back. Shoved Liu Ba aside, hurriedly approached his tone bold. Money is no issue. Tell me how much. Tan Fong's eyes sparkled with a sly smile, confidently holding up 2 fingers. Wang Tiu's face lit up like a blooming flower, quickly responding, only 2 million. Tan Fong shook his head slightly, correcting with a confident smile. It's 20 million. What? 20 million? Liu Ba couldn't help but roar angrily, his eyes sharp as knives, an outrageous price. Young master, you can see for yourself. This brat is nothing but a scammer. He just wants to take your money. The surrounding crowd immediately joined in, murmuring, his young master is playing with that person. 20 million could buy all the gene drugs of all 4 levels. Look at it, that medicine definitely has issues. This guy is absolutely a con artist. So standing nearby couldn't stand seeing her brother attacked immediately. Stepped forward, her voice steel strong in defense. My brother is not a scammer. Didn't you just advocate using 15 million to buy that common gene drug? This medicine of my brother's is not ordinary. At the price of 20 million, it's not expensive at all. Wang Tiu was speechless, unable to find a rebuttal. Earlier, he just blurted out nonsense in anger. Liu Ba snorted coldly, suspiciously. 100% success rate. 100% enhanced efficiency. There's no such magical medicine in this world. This is nothing short of an elixir. I've lived this long and never seen anything like it. Tan Fong remained calm, replying in a steady voice. Old sir, you are not wrong. This is indeed a divine medicine. Otherwise, I wouldn't sell it at such a high price. Wang Tiu's eyes shone brightly, immediately resolute. If what you say is true, I agree to pay 20 million and make the deal with you. But how can you prove this is divine medicine? Tan Fong smiled confidently. Very simple. Before young Master Wang uses the gene drug, we will conduct a body rejection test. Then you'll know immediately if it's real or fake. Hearing about the rejection test, the crowd all turned to look at the gene drug shop owner. He quickly spoke up. Our shop can test the body's rejection rate. Please, young Master Wang, step inside. We will have the results quickly. Everyone immediately followed into the shop. After conducting the test, the results left everyone wide-eyed in shock. The rejection rate was 0%. Liu Ba still didn't believe it, yelling, impossible, absolutely impossible. This result must be wrong. Test it again. The shop owner, sweat beading on his forehead, gently explained, we used different machines. The tester conducted the test 10 times in total. The result was 0% every time. Liu Ba, do you believe it now? Tan Fong stood aside lazily but proudly. Liu Ba, do you believe it now? Wang Tiu, sitting nearby, dazed, muttered, all 10 blood samples were drawn. If you draw more, it'll be dry. Liu Ba at this moment looked at Tan Fong, happily chatting with So-So. A wave of doubt rising in his heart. Could it be that this guy's gene drug really is divine medicine? Tan Fong was tearing the chocolate bar wrapper in his hand as he leisurely said, Hey, still want to test more? It really is a waste of time. My divine medicine, no matter how many times you test it, the results will always be the same. Lu Ba stubbornly refused to believe it and insisted that Vung Tiu continue the tests. The result was still the same 0 elimination rate, not a single deviation even after more than 10 attempts. Vung Tiu looked haggard from the continuous blood draws and couldn't hold back any longer. He stepped in front of Lu Ba, annoyed. "Can I take the medicine now?" Lu Ba was still suspicious and kept making excuses in a deep voice. But even if this medicine is 100% safe, it doesn't necessarily mean it will be effective. 100% safety is enough. Whether it's effective or not is a different matter. Yes. Vung Tiu ignored the warnings and resolutely replied, "For 20 million on one chance, I can still bear it." After saying that, he immediately transferred the money to Tan Fong. Under Lu Ba's helpless gaze, Tan Fong calmly tossed the vial of gene medicine to Vung Tiu after receiving the money. He hugged the vial tightly, eyes shining brightly. "Finally, my beloved gene medicine is in my hands." Without hesitation, Vung Tiu immediately took the gene medicine, catching Lu Ba off guard. The moment the gene medicine entered Vung Tiu's body, he felt a miraculous transformation rising within him. Lu Ba noticed the unusual expression on his face, anxious, and quickly asked, "Young master, are you all right?" "Yes." Vung Tiu didn't answer, but silently brushed past Lu Ba and stepped toward the combat power testing machine with a serious look. He threw a powerful punch, and the screen immediately displayed a combat power of 30. The crowd around burst into cheers. 30. "Oh my God, combat power 30. The usual combat power for a first-level gene soldier is only about 15 points. The effect really increased by 100%. "The divine medicine truly is divine," Vung Tiu, teary-eyed, shouted with joy. "Combat power 30. Is this the taste of strength?" Lu Ba, "I've finally become a gene soldier," finally succeeded smoothly. He dashed forward and embraced Lu Ba, tightly overwhelmed with emotion. Young Master Lu Ba couldn't hold back his feelings either, eyes moist, exclaiming, "Young Master, you really did it." Tan Fong sat perched on a chair, smiling smugly. Teasingly said, "So isn't my gene medicine truly miraculous?" "Yes." Vung Tiu was still excited, nodding repeatedly. "Absolutely." Lu Ba no longer bore any resentment, instead bowing respectfully and apologizing for his earlier rudeness. "You really weren't lying. This medicine truly is divine." Vung Tiu gave a hearty thumbs up and praised, "From now on, you'll be my brother. Your medicine really is divine. You truly are the god of medicine in the gene medicine shop." Seizing the opportunity, he hurriedly knelt near and hugged Tan Fong's leg, flattering, "Oh, great god of medicine, please sell me 100 bottles of this divine medicine. Even 10 bottles will do. Money doesn't matter, just name your price, I won't bargain." The crowd immediately erupted into chaos, shouting, "God of medicine, great god of medicine, sell to me too!" "Sell to me too, I'll pay double, triple." Tan Fong toyed with several vials of gene medicine, smugly saying, line up, line up. Limited quantity, first come, first served," but stopped shouting. "This medicine was invented by my master. It has nothing to do with me. I am not the god of medicine." But the crowd refused to let go, insisting on kneeling and begging mouths non-stop, calling, "God of medicine, God of medicine." Tan Fong's phone kept ringing non-stop, and soon his bank account had surpassed 200 million. So stood beside him, smiling brightly as they happily left together, admired by everyone around. On the way, Tan Fong fell into thought about their current situation. Actually selling gene medicine at the System Shopping Center could bring in a large sum, but to be safe, he decided to be more cautious. The money he just earned was enough to buy a lower-grade original weapon. So he led So to continue their journey toward the Original Energy Shop, a large store nearby specializing in original weapons. The white and solemn scene, along with the lively atmosphere, overwhelmed So, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. A gathering of elemental masters created an irresistibly vibrant atmosphere. While the two siblings were still dazed among the crowd, a beautiful girl with a bright spring-like smile approached gently, her voice soft. "Welcome, young masters. How may I assist you, Mr. Tan Fong?" So immediately became alert, clutching Tan Fong's arm tightly, her sharp gaze seeming to warn, "Don't even think about getting near my big brother." Tan Fong kept a polite demeanor, slightly smiling, and asked, "Why is it so lively? What are they doing?" The perceptive girl noticed Su's attitude, tactfully keeping her distance from Tan Fong, then gently replied, Young Master, today is the day our energy pavilion opens for wagering on Origin weapons. Origin weapons can be bet on. How do you place a bet? Tan Fong was surprised, his eyes shining with curiosity. The girl pointed toward the shiny metal boxes where the crowd gathered in the distance, explaining, "Young Lord, those metal boxes are special Origin weapon boxes produced by our energy pavilion. They can block any probing. Even a 7-star elementalist cannot see inside. Each box costs 130,000, containing low-grade Origin weapons valued between 100 to 500,000, and some fine ones can reach up to 600,000. Tan Fong nodded, his eyes flashing with understanding. "I see these elementalists are choosing Origin weapon boxes. Whether you get a quality Origin weapon depends on luck." The girl smiled, her tone full of praise. "Young Lord, you are very smart. That's exactly it." Su still had a childish mood, tightening her grip on Tan Fong's hand, silently thinking, "This is my big brother. You have no chance to snatch him." Just then, a chubby young man stepped forward and placed an Origin weapon box on the table, loudly saying, "Viscount, I want to buy this one." The crowd immediately buzzed with excitement. "Quick, someone has made a choice. Wonder how lucky he is. Come on, let's go see." The 6 Viscounts looked coldly at the chubby man, their voices calm. 130,000, pay up front, then open the box. Once the box is opened, it cannot be returned or exchanged. The chubby man's eyes sparkled with consideration, silently judging. He recognized this Viscount as the aura of a 2-star elementalist, clearly a true noble. He muttered in his mind, 130,000 is all my assets, but if I can get an Origin weapon with a 70% margin, I'll make a big profit. Thinking that, the chubby man immediately transferred the money into the energy account. Eyes blazing, an excited voice said, "Viscount, please open this box for me." After the Viscount confirmed the fingerprint, the metal box emitted a soft click. It slowly opened. Inside was a fire flame blade, a fire-type offensive Origin weapon with a 50% margin. The crowd around immediately buzzed. Mocking voices rang out non-stop. "That 50% margin is the worst Origin weapon. Market value is only about 100,000. Ha ha, chubby. This time you lost 30,000. Another person joined in, laughing loudly. "Chubby, you're really unlucky." The chubby man's face turned gray, frozen like a statue of longing, curling up in a corner, his eyes empty, pondering life, seeing that everyone felt pity. But then they let it be. Tan Fong, witnessing this scene, couldn't help but shudder. The risk really is too great, he thought. Another person stepped up to bet on an Origin weapon box. Unlike the chubby man, this person was much luckier. He got an Earth Spirit Shield with a defensive margin of 70.6%. Market value at least 300,000. Tan Fong muttered to himself, "Only 200 million, not enough to buy a good Origin weapon. But if I bet on a quality item, the chance to pass the 3rd stage of the God-level challenge will be much higher. Maybe I should try my luck once." Just as Tan Fong hesitated, the system in his head suddenly displayed detailed information about an Origin weapon box right before his eyes. Tan Fong was stunned, looking around. Miraculously, any Origin weapon box he looked at showed the item name, type, rank, and power effects clearly. The corner of Tan Fong's mouth lifted into a bright smile, as if wanting to jump for joy. Fortune is knocking. Turns out this system could even scan the contents inside Origin weapon boxes. This is the chance to make money. Seeing Tan Fong fondling an Origin weapon box, Su immediately guessed his intention. She hurriedly pulled his hand, worried. "Big brother, you want to bet on an Origin weapon? A single bet is 130,000. What if you pick a low-quality box? Won't you lose 30,000? Tan Fong smiled, gently stroking his little sister's head, his voice full of confidence. "Little girl, don't worry. Big brother has it all figured out." With 200,000 in hand, Tan Fong's shopping options were limited, so he was determined to pick the best item. He scanned through each Origin weapon box. Some were just too weak in function. Some were better, barely selling for 300,000, but still didn't meet his requirements. From afar, the sighs of the unlucky kept ringing out non-stop. What kind of broken luck is this? Bought a fake original elemental box again, and it's the wood element. Old master. This is a water elemental master, another shouted in disappointment. Mine is also low quality. Fire strike elemental. Market price is 100,000, but now it's only worth a few tens of millions. Regardless, Old Master was about to go bankrupt. Suosuo's worried eyes grew even more panicked. She grabbed Qinfeng's hand softly. Big brother, maybe we should just go. None of these boxes contain good elemental cores. Qinfeng smiled, stroked his little sister's head confidently. Little girl, good stuff definitely exists. He slung a metal elemental box over his shoulder, stepping firmly. He continued. Come to my stall so I can show you my lucky draw. Though Suosuo disagreed, she pouted and followed. All right, since it's your money, big brother. You can spend as much as you want. Seeing Qinfeng step forward to bet on an elemental box, the crowd couldn't help but be stunned. Someone whispered, surely he's the heir of some wealthy family. Such a young boy already betting on elemental cores. Another chimed in, eyeing his aura. Must be from a noble family. Zijuo observed Qinfeng sharply, thinking, is this boy here for the first time? I've never seen him before. Though suspicious inside, he kept a cold exterior and calm voice. Old rule transfer money first. Qinfeng quickly transferred the funds. Zijuo confirmed and opened the elemental box. The crowd immediately stirred cheers, erupting, it's a wind element core. Wind elements are very rare. Prices are higher. Even at the lowest growth rate of 50%, it could sell for about 120,000. Quick check the growth rate. Qinfeng feigned innocence, holding the item description paper, voice casual. It's my first time buying this, so I don't understand. Could you guys help me check? Someone curious snatched the paper and read aloud, Wind Shadow Shoes. Wind Element Auxiliary Type. Growth rate 100%. Oh my god! Growth rate 100% unbelievable. Truly 100% this luck is unmatched, young man. You're going to get rich. The minimum value of this is 500,000. Another excited voice cut in. What? 500,000? This is a rare wind element auxiliary type. Even 600,000 would be hard to buy it for. This is the best low-grade elemental core I've ever seen. Suosuo jumped up, eyes shining brightly, cheering. Big brother, you're amazing. Zijuo's lips curled into a slight smile. Congratulations, kid. You're a bit lucky. First time betting on an elemental core and you hit a high-grade one. Qinfeng responded humbly. You flatter me. Just got lucky. But inside he was overjoyed. 130,000 to get a refined item worth 600,000 is truly a steal. With these wind shadow shoes, his speed would double. His strength would also improve significantly. Seeing such a premium item, the crowd unwillingly clamored to try their luck again. Someone shouted, I don't believe my luck is worse than that kid's. I'll buy another box. Another boldly said, I'll buy again too. Some even desperately said, no matter what, I'll buy again. Watching the crowd rush to buy elemental boxes, Qinfeng frowned, slightly worried. Actually, thanks to the system, he discovered that among more than 200 boxes, there was still another elemental box with a 100% growth rate. He silently vowed to find a way to get more money and buy it before someone else snatched it. Turning to Suosuo, he smiled. Suosuo, let's go. The girl looked confused and asked, Yes, big brother, where are we going now? We're heading to the Warrior Tower. Curiously looking up, she asked, Where is the Warrior Tower? Qinfeng smiled and explained, The Warrior Tower is a public area for Gen warriors and powerful body cultivation experts. They gather here to exchange information and form groups to hunt fierce beasts and monsters. Besides, this place also has a secret training hall and testing grounds. He led Suosuo up to the second floor of the Warrior Tower, pointing to the vast space ahead. This is the testing hall. After saying that, he handed her a level 4 gene medicine vial. After drinking the medicine, Suosuo felt the power surge through her body like rolling waves. Tanfong lightly nodded in a warm, deep voice. Let's check the combat power. So stepped up to the testing machine. The results showed a combat power of 199. The little girl happily jumped up and ran to hug Tanfong, shouting, Our So-So is amazing. Tanfong, using a coaxing tone as if speaking to a child, smiled brightly. Little girl, you're very good. He also felt relieved with the combat power of 199. So-So is strong enough to wipe out the group of elemental adepts. Her ability to protect herself is now solid. He continued, eyes sparkling, Big Brother's patrol mission tomorrow. Our strength will definitely surprise many people. So-So proudly raised her head. But Tan Fong immediately advised seriously, "Little girl, be a bit humble. For now, don't let anyone know our true strength." So looked puzzled. "Why?" Tan Fong shook his head calmly. "No need to ask. You'll understand when the time comes." So obediently nodded without further questions. He smiled and continued, "That's right, so. The training hall on the 3rd floor has a virtual combat room." So replied, "Yes, I'll go there for a bit to practice combat skills. That way, if I run into a ferocious beast tomorrow, I won't be caught off guard." He wanted to check out the training room. "I'll find you later." Yes, big brother." Suo nodded with bright eyes. "Okay, big brother. Then I'll go ahead and play first." The two parted ways, each heading in a different direction. After surveying the secret training room, Qin Feng nodded with satisfaction. This place is truly ideal for carrying out the system's challenge missions. He pulled from his storage ring the expensive equipment he had spent money on. His eyes flashed with confidence. Suddenly he recalled the last accident. He silently felt lucky to have this set of gear. He no longer needed to risk going into dangerous alleys to complete level-up missions. Yes, that's not all. Qin Feng recalled his speculation about his innate skill. He had just bought some level 1 beast cores. Now was the time to test his full equipment. Qin Feng was now a 3-element elementalist. His defensive level far surpassed that of a 1st-rank elementalist. With sharp primary-grade weapons like cutting through the slime monsters in the challenge mission, it would be hard to defeat him. He smiled silently and thought, no wonder it's called the Elemental Blade. It really slices like cutting through slime. Qin Feng swallowed the beast core, feeling the energy spread through his body. Just as he guessed, the devouring divine-level skill could absorb energy from the beast core to regenerate cells, helping him heal wounds. Although it didn't speed up cultivation, this self-healing ability elevated his strength to a new level. Everything was ready. Qin Feng confidently stepped into the 3rd divine-level challenge. The system announced entering the Ice Prison Challenge map 1.998. The countdown began. In the blink of an eye, Qin Feng was teleported to Ice Prison 1. Bone-chilling cold rushed in, surrounded by shimmering ice mountains. Even the ground was covered in a hard layer of ice. Qin Feng shivered uncontrollably and couldn't help but mutter, "Ouch, it's freezing here." At least 70 to 80 degrees. He quickly moved to search for the mission target. Fortunately, with the robust body of a 3-element elementalist, he could withstand the brutal cold. Otherwise, I'd probably be frozen solid before even starting the challenge. He silently smiled, lips curling slightly. Just the damage from the map alone is this fierce. The difficulty of this challenge is definitely no joke. But with the devouring divine skill combined with Bloodbone Blade and Wind Shadow Shoes synergy, his strength was on par with a fully realized 1st-rank elementalist. Nothing to worry about. Qin Feng quickened his confident pace. His sharp eyes scanned around. Suddenly, a sense of danger surged, trouble, someone sneaking up. Qin Feng reacted like lightning, swinging the Bloodbone Blade behind him, but only hit empty air. He spun around cautiously looking, but no creature was in sight. Only strange footprints were imprinted on the ice, catching his attention. Footprints. Qin Feng frowned clearly. Someone sneaked in here with me. Could there be someone else in this map besides me? That thought made him uneasy and distracted. Just then, a mysterious creature seized the chance to strike a full-force blow to Qin Feng's back. He shouted in pain, his body thrown and rolled several times on the ice before stopping and struggling to lean on the Bloodbone Blade to stand. Qin Feng narrowed his eyes and growled at the distant creature. Luckily I'm wearing the beast fighting armor, or that move would have killed me. Otherwise, I'd be dead for sure. Thanks to the system, he quickly identified the ambusher, a common level 12 Ice Demon Spirit. Early 1st-rank level, Ice Concealment skill. Warning, extremely dangerous. Win rate below 5%. The system continued announcing Divine Level Challenge begins. Objective: kill the Ice Demon within 20 minutes. Qin Feng forced a smile. Cold sweat dripped down his forehead. A level 10 Ice Demon equals 2 early 1st-rank elementalists. Win rate below 5%. He muttered, I guessed the 3rd Divine Level Challenge would be brutal. But this is just crazy. The system mockingly reminded the player the rewards this time are extremely generous. Moreover, the Ice Demon Assassin can drop the hidden ice skill. Tan Feng's eyes lit up with surprise as he realized the value of the hidden ice skill. This skill is truly a treasure. Out there, nothing like this exists. He silently thought an elemental master must reach 3 stars to have a chance to master the skill. Every skill I have will help me advance one level higher. The system gave a low win rate but didn't account for my equipment and beast cores. This system flaw is my opportunity. Thinking so, Tan Fong regained composure, stood up, and focused, ready to face the battle. A system announcement coldly counted down 3 seconds before automatically initiating combat. 3, 2, 1. The third-level God challenge begins. Time limit 20 minutes. Immediately from the opposite side, the ice demon let out a strange, cold laugh like breaking ice and then suddenly disappeared. Tan Fong frowned, silently lamenting this Fire Clan guy not only hides his body, but his aura vanishes too. Surely the hidden ice skill is too powerful. I'm exposed to the light while the enemy stays in the dark. This situation is extremely unfavorable. I must be doubly cautious. Suddenly a surge of murderous intent came from behind. The ice demon lunged forward, sharp claws aiming straight for Tan Fong's back. He remained calm, not reacting immediately, waiting until the enemy's claws were just inches from his back. Suddenly, Tan Fong jumped up perfectly to evade. Due to momentum, the ice demon kept rushing forward, unable to control his body. Taking advantage of the moment, Tan Fong hovered in the air and spun as fast as lightning. Both hands tightly gripped the blood-bone blade, unleashing the skill with the most violent strike. He slashed hard at the ice demon. The ice demon reacted without hesitation, instantly crossing his arms to block Tan Fong's attack, forcing him to step back a few steps. But it only left a few small scratches on his arms. The ice demon roared angrily. His eyes flashed with fierce light as he charged straight at Tan Fong. He swung another slash, but this time only hit empty air. Tan Fong muttered lowly, "Damn it, gone again." Quick-witted, he devised a plan. Tan Fong laid down a series of automatic mines on the ice surface, then focused quietly, waiting. After a while, a few explosions sounded in the distance. Tan Fong turned his head, a smug smile curling at his lips. Here, huh? The opportunity has come. He shouted loudly, threw a bomb at the ice demon, and covered his eyes at the same time. The bomb didn't explode, but released a blinding light, temporarily blinding the ice demon. Not missing the chance, Tan Fong rushed forward. The blood-bone blade in his hand unleashed the most violent strike, aimed straight at the ice demon's chest. But unexpectedly, the ice demon, with superior physique, quickly recovered his vision. Seeing Tan Fong's attack about to hit, he couldn't dodge in time. A murderous gleam flashed in his eyes. The ice demon ignored defense. Sharp claws stabbed straight at Tan Fong's chest. The ice demon's sharp claws and Tan Fong's blood-bone blade pierced each other's chests simultaneously. A desperate move. Both sides suffered damage. Both withdrew their weapons at the same time and stepped back a few steps. Fresh blood seeped from the wounds. Tan Fong bared his teeth in a fierce grin. Ha ha ha! Enough patience stored. He quickly took out a beast core, threw it into his mouth, activating the god-level devouring skill. Energy from the beast core immediately flowed, healing the severe wound on his chest within seconds. He roared, his eyes blazing. Then let's just keep going. Let's go all out. Tan Fong grabbed the blood-bone blade and charged at the ice demon. Because he was already injured, the ice demon's combat strength declined. Continuously pressured by Tan Fong, he was pushed gradually backward. In a moment of carelessness, the ice demon stepped on a mine Tan Fong had placed earlier. A chain explosion erupted, thick smoke and dust engulfing both. Tan Fong shouted loudly, "Go die!" The ice demon didn't flinch. He charged through the hail of bombs, continuously launching relentless attacks at the ice demon. Wounds on both increased. But thanks to the god-level devouring skill, Tan Fong showed no fear. He disregarded defense trading blows relentlessly, frenzied slashing and killing. In the end, the ice demon was exhausted from injuries and could no longer resist. Tan Fong raised the blood-bone blade high, full range 100%, unleashing the most violent strike. One explosive blow splitting the ice ghost's body in two. After the ice ghost vanished, only 2 sparkling items remained on the ice. Tan Fong quickly grabbed them. His eyes shone brightly. Excitedly, he shouted, "Level 10 core beast can be exchanged for 80,000. There was also an ice-hidden skill stone. This time I'm set." Without hesitation, Tan Fong immediately swallowed the skill stone. The system announced completion of devouring the skill stone and acquiring the ice-hidden skill. He laughed loudly, excitement in his heart, got another ice-hidden skill. This is perfect for stealth attacks or reconnaissance. If used correctly, it's definitely formidable. Immediately after the challenge reward sounded, the system announced congratulations to the key owner for completing the 3rd level of the Divine Challenge. The reward was a shard of the Wind God seal, a shard of the Ice God seal, A shard of the Thunder God Seal. A shard of the Fire God Seal. 5 level 4 Fire Element Core Beasts. Tanfong frowned, murmuring, "Why are there so many Fire Element items in the rewards? Clearly I don't have Fire Element talent." He examined the information on the last item. Fire Origin Pearl, a classified extremely rare artifact. Note can be devoured. Tanfong fell into deep thought. A bold idea flashed. Could it be? With hopeful eyes, he tossed the Fire Origin Pearl into his mouth. The system immediately announced successful devouring of the Fire Origin Pearl. Achieved 1.21% Fire Element sensitivity. The key owner gained common-level Fire Element cultivation talent. Tanfong was filled with excitement, shouting, "So it's true! I really do have Fire Element cultivation talent." He laughed heartily. His eyes sparkled. With so many cultivation talents, my strength will soar quickly. Even if it's only common-level Fire Element talent, it's still a valuable loot. Without hesitation, Tanfong continued devouring the remaining rewards. The system continuously announced successful devouring of level 4 core beasts. Fire Essence increased body transformation by 10%. Successful devouring of level 4 core beast. Fire Essence increased body transformation by 10%. Another level 4 core beast devoured successfully. Fire Essence increased body transformation by 10%. Successfully devoured Shard of the Thunder God Seal. Completion level of seal condensation increased by 30%. Successfully devoured Shard of the Ice God Seal. Completion level of seal condensation increased by 30%. Successfully devoured Shard of the Wind God Seal. Completion level of seal condensation increased by 30%. Successfully devoured 2 shards of the Fire God Seal. Completion level of seal condensation increased by 30%. Personal information panel appeared. Cultivator Tanfong, Elemental Master Level King Tier. Challenger Fire Element, Peerless Elemental Master Seal, Condensation, 80% complete. Thunder Element, Peerless Elemental Master Seal, Condensation, 70% complete. Ice Element Genius, Elemental Master Seal, Condensation, 90% complete. Fire Element Common Elemental Master Seal, Condensation, 30% complete. 1 innate skill devoured divine level. Combat skill Most Violent Strike. Auxiliary skill Ice Hidden Technique. Combat Power Index 900 points. Seeing combat power reach 900 points, Tanfong was overjoyed. The corners of his mouth curled proudly. Keep in mind the combat power of a level 1 star. Elemental Master at full bloom is only about 1,000 points. He thought silently. If I add the combined skills, my strength might be roughly equal to, or even surpass a level 2-star early Elemental Master. Curious, he checked the personal panel again and murmured, my level has reached King Tier. I wonder if there are more tiers above King level. A notification appeared to explain and remind the key owner that above King Tier are Star Tier, Emperor Tier, God Tier, and so on. The key owner needs to keep striving. Tanfong nodded, eyes blazing. It's true, looks like I have to work tirelessly. But the Divine Level challenge probably won't activate until I break through to level 2-star Elemental Master. He glanced at the time and saw it was due, then sheathed the Bloodbone blade into the storage ring. A system announcement declared time expired. After 10 seconds, the key owner will leave Ice Prison 19-8 and return to reality. The first thing Tanfong did was to order the system to recall the Essence Cores. The system responded that the Essence Cores were recalled and the main account was credited with 80,000. Tanfong took out his phone to check, a bright smile spreading across his face. At this rate, I'll soon have 140,000. Tanfong looked at the beast armor on him, now badly damaged, and silently vowed to go to the Essence Energy Pavilion one more time. He knew that among the Essence boxes there was still a refined beast armor with a 100% amplitude. The beast armor was destroyed by the Ice Demon. Now I'm missing a defensive Essence weapon and must hurry to grab it. If I delay and someone else takes it, wouldn't that be a missed opportunity? With determination set, Tanfong immediately rushed straight to the Essence Energy Pavilion. As he stepped in, the buzz of chatter rang in his ears. Hey, did you hear? This morning, someone withdrew a 100% amplitude wind element essence. Another person exclaimed in surprise, is that true or not? Is there really such a great item? The other person eagerly said, then I'll go try to buy one and see if I'm lucky. Tanfong ignored the noisy crowd, his sharp gaze scanning each essence box for the one containing the beast armor. Not far away, a red-haired, alluring girl saw Tan Fong and brightened, murmuring, "Oh, what a noble young master this is. From looks to aura, truly top-notch." After searching for a while, Tan Fong breathed a sigh of relief when he found the box containing the beast armor still untouched. He picked up the box and was about to approach the trading counter when a sharp voice called out from behind, "Handsome boy, is this your first time betting on Essence? Listen to your big sister, don't pick that big box. Not everything bigger is better, you know." "Huh?" Tan Fong turned around suspiciously, his gaze flickering over the red-haired girl with a standout spirit. He thought to himself, does she mean that she herself isn't good? The girl stepped closer and repeated confidently, "Handsome boy, trust your big sister. Don't pick that big box. Bigger isn't always better." Tan Fong slightly frowned quietly, sizing up this woman as no ordinary person. The system showed she was a perfect one-star, a young water essence master already at this level. Her talent and status were definitely extraordinary. The red-haired girl stepped in front of Tan Fong, tapping lightly on the box, and said, "Handsome boy, I could tell at a glance this is your first time betting on Essence, so I said that. Usually, the big boxes contain bulky items like beast armor, for example." Tan Fong chuckled quietly and sighed. She was right. He was indeed after the beast armor. Seeing he didn't respond, the girl circled around the box, leaning close to Tan Fong, and whispered, "These essences are all valuable. The Essence Energy Pavilion isn't generous enough to put good stuff in big boxes. These big boxes basically only have low-value essence. If you trust me, you definitely won't go wrong." If it were someone else, they might have been convinced by the red-haired girl's words. But Tan Fong, thanks to the system, knew the box contained refined beast armor. He smiled slyly and casually said, "Seems like you've bet quite a few times already, haven't you, big sister?" The red-haired girl was startled, her face flushing slightly. She quickly turned away and sighed. "Oh, don't mention it. If I hadn't poured all my money into this but used it to buy cultivation resources, I would have broken through to 2 stars by now. Too bad my luck isn't that good. I never get any good items." Tan Fong shook his head with a light laugh. "So yeah, this all depends on luck. My luck isn't bad either." Then he turned and walked straight to the trading counter, ignoring the girl's words. The red-haired girl's mouth twitched. She didn't expect Tan Fong to be so decisive. Unwilling, she called out, "Handsome boy, if you don't listen to big sister, be careful not to suffer losses right before your eyes." Tan Fong stood in front of the counter, placed the essence box down, and said, "Count Trin, I want to buy this." Count Trin narrowed his eyes at Tan Fong, his voice deep and warm. "You're here again, kid." The red-haired girl followed behind, surprised, exclaiming, "Count Trin, you know him." Count Trin nodded, pointing at Tan Fong as he recounted, "This noon, the kid who got lucky and drew the wind shadow shoes was him." The red-haired girl gaped, incredulous. "Handsome boy, you already hit the jackpot and still want to bet again." Tan Fong calmly nodded. "Yeah, while I still have some luck, I want to try to make a little more." The red-haired girl warned anxiously, "But luck is fickle. You should be more careful. Under normal circumstances, the probability of winning twice in a row is extremely low." Tan Fong nodded in agreement, but his eyes remained determined. He took out his phone and transferred 130,000 to Trin Ba. A few seconds later, Trin Ba loudly confirmed he had received 130,000. The surrounding crowd immediately buzzed and hurried to the counter. "Oh, someone just bought that box again." "So," another person excitedly said, "I heard this morning's Feng Ying shoes were also drawn by a young person. Let's go see how lucky he is." A curious person added, "Why is this box so big? 80% sure it's armor." Amid the noise, Trin Ba opened the original weapon box and the crowd jostled eagerly to see the revealed item. The whole area erupted in amazement. It really is armor. Fire element armor. Quickly check the attributes. The red-haired girl couldn't resist grabbing the information card and reading aloud, "Oh my God, 100% defense range." Hearing the announcement, the space around Tan Fong exploded with sounds of admiration mixed with envy. This original weapon armor is truly a grand prize. Another person shouted, "Little brother, you've hit the jackpot." Truly admirable. Someone sighed, "This armor is worth at least 550,000. Why don't I ever have such luck?" But Tan Fong paid no attention to the surrounding noise. He lifted the blazing fire armor up, his eyes sparkling with joy. "This is 100 times stronger than beast armor. With it, my overall strength will soar." Trinba, who had witnessed countless bets at Yuan Qi Pavilion, was seeing for the first time someone draw rare items twice in a row. He was stunned and reluctantly said, "Kid, your luck really isn't bad." The red-haired girl Liungan also couldn't hide her admiration. "Little handsome, you must be Newton's seventh younger brother from many years ago." Chaobo sincerely, Tan Fong modestly replied with a faint smile. "It's just luck, no need to make a fuss." Having achieved his goal, he intended to leave. It was getting late, and he needed to find Suo Suo to take her home to rest and prepare for tomorrow's patrol. He nodded and greeted everyone, then quickly stepped out of Yuan Qi Pavilion. Suo Suo was still at the warrior hall, immersed in simulated battles, and Tan Fong silently wondered how the little girl was doing. While lost in thought, a sharp voice rang out. "Hey, little handsome." Startled, Tan Fong turned and saw Liungan smiling and waving. He immediately became alert and said coldly, "Hey, why are you here? What do you want?" Liungan smiled brightly, her eyes sparkling. "Don't worry, sister wants to ask you for a small favor." Tan Fong squinted, asking, "Huh, what small favor?" Liungan suddenly rushed forward and grabbed Tan Fong's arm, whining, "Will you help sister pick a box? Sister wants to share a bit of your luck." But Tan Fong calmly replied, "I'm choosing the original weapon box for her. What does she get out of it?" Liungan laughed brightly. "Little handsome, you really don't like to lose out, huh? Fine, you help me choose the box and sister will owe you a favor." Sister is Liu Nagan, a first-star fully-fledged elementalist in Yunyang City. I also have some ability. Tan Fong lifted his chin, appraising the girl's gaze, then said, "This favor sounds a bit unrealistic. Got anything more practical?" Liungan was briefly surprised, but quickly had an idea. She grabbed Tan Fong's hand, placed her other hand on his chest, leaned close to his ear, and whispered softly, "How about this? You help sister with this, and tonight sister will go on a date with you. Sister has never dated anyone before. You'll be the first." Tan Fong blushed slightly, thinking women in this world are really generous. Seeing him silent, Liungan teasingly asked, "Well, don't like that." She tied her hair high and changed her demeanor to a sharper style, continuing, "Then how about this style, young man? Do you like this style of mine?" Tan Fong silently marveled at her transformations, truly impressive. Liungan saw he still didn't answer and asked curiously, "What's wrong?" "Don't like this style either. So you prefer the innocent student look, right? Or the obedient maid style? Just say it, what style can't this versatile demon girl do?" Finally, she leaned close to Tan Fong, puckered her lips seductively, her eyes sparkling. "You must like the simple student style, right?" Tan Fong couldn't stand the teasing any longer and finally said, Yes, whatever you say is right. I'm really impressed with you. At the third shelf, buy box number 7 of the original energy. If you want to buy it, then hurry up and buy it." Liu Yin beamed a bright smile and thanked profusely. "Thank you, little handsome." She turned and ran back into the energy pavilion. Tan Fong called after her, "If you end up buying low-quality goods, don't blame me." Liu Yin replied carefree, "I won't blame you. No matter what I get, I'll accept it. Wait here for me. If I get something good, I'll come back and thank you." She blew Tan Fong a kiss and quickly disappeared into the energy pavilion. Tan Fong shook his head and muttered, "No need to crowd." After a while, a surprised shout came from inside. "What the heck? This Origin Energy water attribute is 86% amplitude. That's huge. This Origin Energy is worth at least 300,000. The crowd kept marveling at the Origin Energy in Liungin's hand. "Are there really this many good Origin Energies today, sis?" Trinbao was stunned and thought to himself, what day is it today? It's like encountering a ghost. Liungin hugged the Origin Energy, her eyes shining brightly as she whispered, "Little handsome really didn't deceive me. I really got something good. I'll definitely repay this kindness." Meanwhile, Tan Fong ran straight to the warrior hall, stopping to catch his breath. "Phew, who wants to wait there? I have to hurry and get So-So home. No time to waste with that woman." He hurried into the training hall on the 3rd floor. Suddenly, cheers echoed, catching Tan Fong's attention. "Wow, that girl is amazing. Where did this little girl come from?" Another person excitedly said, "She's really strong, little miss. Keep it up. Amazing little girl." Tan Fong curiously looked up at the big screen in front and clearly saw the figure on the screen. Startled, he exclaimed, So-So. On the screen, So-So continually pressured her opponent, forcing them to only defend and not dare attack. Tan Fong couldn't help but think, this girl is really strong. So, So has never faced real combat before, yet she has such excellent fighting talent, making the whole crowd admire her. He focused on observing the virtual combat room using the computer to analyze the challenger's height, physique, and parameters, creating a virtual character in the simulated battle. The player controls this character to fight entirely based on skills and experience. Both sides' attack power speed and defense were set equally independent of actual strength, making this a genuine skill training method. The crowd buzzed, "Wow, who is this girl? How can she hold out so long against Douthan?" Another person marveled, "She's really impressive." In Von Zung City, Douthan is ranked top 10 in combat skills, yet this young girl fights him evenly, truly a born fighting prodigy. Hearing the endless praise for So Tan Fong as her brother couldn't help but feel proud, a smile curling on his lips. He silently evaluated. This girl isn't bad at all. Her opponent has rich combat experience, but this is So's first encounter. Relying only on talent and instinct, though her skills are still rough and imperfect, achieving this on the first try is outstanding. I have to keep nurturing her. On the screen, after being pressured by So. For a while, Douthan launched a counterattack, but not only failed to take down So, he exposed a weakness. So immediately seized the opportunity to unleash a critical move to finish off the opponent. So won, and the crowd erupted with cheers. "Well done." Even defeated the top player. Someone excitedly said, "That's amazing. I'm a fan of hers now." Another shouted, "Little Miss from today, you're everyone's favorite." So stepped out of the virtual combat pod amid wild cheers. Even Douthan, her opponent, was fully convinced. A group of passionate fanboys swarmed, so clamoring to persuade, "Can we be friends, little sister?" Another barged in, So our Dung Hung group really needs talents like you, join us quickly." Another group wasn't to be outdone. So our Taylene group also needs someone like you, join us." Suddenly a harsh voice rang out, "What are you eunuch organizations doing?" So if you want to join, it has to be our Phoenix Fire." So shook her head firmly. No. I have no intention of joining any mercenary organization, thank you all." From afar, Tan Fong heard the mercenary group's invitations and secretly felt pleased. These organizations, besides gathering to hunt ferocious and wild beasts, sometimes also take on mercenary jobs. Their core members are all soldiers with limited potential genetic development, full of risks not suitable for a young girl at all. He stepped forward and called out loudly, Suo, let's go!" The two brothers linked arms and left the warrior tower. Suo was still excitedly chattering in Qin Feng's ear. "Big brother, did you see me fight just now? I was really good." Big brother heard there was a virtual combat compartment. After connecting, one could participate in global combat. "Can I buy one?" Qin Feng smiled and patted the little girl's head. "Sure, but wait a few more days. Tomorrow we have important business to take care of." "Yes." Suo nodded, eyes sparkling. "Yes, Big brother is so kind." The nearby fanboys couldn't help but sigh watching this. Suo is really adorable, and she fights well too, so admirable. Another sighed. "I wish I had a cute little sister like that." Meanwhile, at the Lam family mansion, Lam Hook Duong was angrily punching a sandbag. He stopped only when it had a large hole. A beautiful girl with a gentle smile came forward with a towel and softly said, "The two young masters, it's late, please rest." Lam Hook Duong sat down, took off his gloves, and nodded. I know." He casually asked, "Has Xiao Lu arranged everything?" The girl replied, "Everything has been properly planned. Tomorrow, Suo will come to the refugee department to report. I've arranged internal agents. Her movements will be closely monitored." Lam Hook Duong nodded, eyes flashing with satisfaction. "Good. Have the off-road vehicles been checked? And are the mini-missiles fully loaded?" Xiao Lu bowed and reported, "Young master, everything is ready." He sneered, I want to take a bath. Quickly prepare bathwater for this young master." Xiao Lu respectfully responded, "Understood." After bathing, Lam Hook Duong leisurely sipped wine and kept scheming, "Tomorrow, that refugee girl must die. Father's plan is truly perfect. The day after tomorrow, even if a major event breaks out, no one will connect it to the Lam family." He sneered coldly. As long as I can cultivate talent and become the elemental master of those two little refugees, it's nothing. Anyone who stands in my way, whether 1,000 or 10,000, must die. The next morning, Qin Feng took Suo to Refugee Department Number 7 to report. Suo looked around the main hall, eyes curious, and asked, "Big brother, look at everyone. They all carry weapons and wear combat armor. Why are we wearing beast-fighting armor inside but have all our weapons taken away?" Qin Feng smiled with a calm voice. "Because we want to appear weak, lower others' guard. That way we can launch a surprise attack." Suo nodded, saying, "Oh," without further questions, her eyes shining with trust. Qin Feng silently calculated in his mind. After a night of intense cultivation, his seal imprint completion reached 93%, just a little more, and he would officially become a first-star elemental master. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish it today. If his prediction was correct, Lam Huk Duong would appear today to harm Suo. This time, he absolutely wouldn't let that tragedy happen again. Today's mission was to eliminate Lam Huk Duong. If Lam Huk Duong lived, Suo would forever be in danger, even if he became an elemental master. Once Lam Huk Duong was eliminated, the next step would be to wipe out the entire Lam family. Only then would Suo be safe forever. Just then, Captain Tran Min spoke firmly. "Everyone, did you hear me? Next, we will divide into 5 groups, each group led by 1 genetic soldier. Then the groups will move to Defense Area S22 to receive assignments from superiors. You can decide how to select your team members yourselves." Immediately, group leaders began recruiting members. Watching that scene, Suo suddenly felt worried. A short, scarred guy came forward inviting Qin Feng to join his group, but when he heard Qin Feng requested to bring his little sister along, he immediately changed tone, frowning. "Then forget it. The patrol mission is risky. Who wants to bring a girl along?" Suo puffed her cheeks in annoyance and replied, "Who's a girl? I'm very powerful, you know." Qin Feng laughed gently, patting her head and soothing her. "It's okay. The more underestimated we are, the safer we are." "Yes." At that moment, a burly uncle walked over with a loud voice. "Little sister, do you want to join my team?" So surprised, pointing at her brother. "Are you inviting me to join that team? But I want to be with Kaka. Can he come along?" The uncle laughed loudly and replied, "Of course." So cheered. "That's great. Thank you so much, uncle." The uncle laughed even louder. "From now on, just call me Captain. Calling me uncle makes me feel like an old man already. My name is Ha Feng, a level 4 genetic soldier. And you guys are so. Tan Feng. Tan Feng answered, his eyes flashing with caution. Tan Feng quietly observed this old man Ha Feng, sensing something strange. Other captains usually pick strong people, yet Ha Feng deliberately invited So. That's really unusual. Something strange must be going on. After dividing into groups, everyone quickly got on the vehicles, heading straight to the designated area. Upon reaching the border of the Von Dung city base, Captain Tran Min's voice came over the speaker. "Less than 10 kilometers to the S22 defense zone." Ha Feng caught the tense looks on the group members' faces and smiled reassuringly, his voice bright. "Cheer up, everyone. Get ready to enter the defense zone." Taking advantage of the moment, Tan Feng cleverly asked Team Leader Ha, "My little sister is still young and can't fight. I'm afraid this trip might cause trouble for you." Ha Feng waved his hand and laughed loudly. "Doesn't matter. I wanted to look out for the little one since she's young." Looking at So, he suddenly remembered his own little sister at this age during the afternoon storm. At that moment, Ha Feng fell silent, the usual smile on his face now tinged with bitterness. "Yes, so that's it. So sympathized softly." Tan Feng awkwardly hurried to say, Sorry for reminding you of unpleasant things." Ha Feng shook his head and smiled faintly. "It's okay, it's in the past." Then he pulled 2 Model 6 guns from his backpack and handed them to the 2 siblings. "Oh, right! Take these. I see neither of you has self-defense gear. It's dangerous outside the city. Threats can appear any time." So exclaimed, her eyes shining brightly. "Wow, Team Leader Ha Feng is so kind." Tan Feng took the gun, quietly assessing the specially crafted Model 6, which dealt significant damage to level 1 beasts. Its market price reaches tens of thousands. Ordinary people rarely lend them out so generously. Yet Ha Feng was surprisingly generous. Just then, Ha Feng announced, "Everyone pay attention, we've arrived at the S22 defense zone." The surrounding scenery left the whole group in awe. Wow, this defense area is really huge. Everyone got off the vehicle one by one, following Captain Ha. Tanfong held So-So's hand, carefully warning, "This is the border of the base's defense zone, be careful." So-So looked around curiously. "So many people are having picnics. Do you think we can have a picnic meal too?" Tanfong wasn't as carefree as the girl. He watched everyone around cautiously. Suddenly, he overheard some whispering. "I heard there's a government army stationed here, thousands of genetic soldiers. They say there are hundreds of pure elemental masters serving as officers." Tanfong turned to Ha Feng and asked, "Team Leader Ha, what's our patrol team's main mission?" Ha Feng replied softly but clearly, "Actually, it's quite simple. When the soldiers go out to patrol, we handle engineering tasks supporting refugees with manual labor. We can't do much else. If we encounter beasts, our only option is to rely on the soldiers or run away." Suddenly, someone in the group pointed behind, and Ha Feng shouted, "Everyone look, that's a high-level elemental master." A stern-looking man and woman were approaching. Ha Feng immediately stepped forward respectfully. "Captain Lu Ha Feng, leader of the 8th Patrol Team of the Refugee Zone, reporting." The men in the group murmured, "Wow, this female officer is really fierce. Oh man, I'm in love, she's amazing. Turns out a heroine could be so beautiful." Tanfong quietly observed the girl, a familiar feeling passing through him. After thinking for a moment, he suddenly realized she was Liun Yin, someone he had met at Nguyen Vu Cat. So-So stood beside him, admiring her beauty. "Kaka, that elemental beauty is really stunning, isn't she?" Tanfong answered over the speaker. Yes, she is, but inside he felt uneasy. Running into her here is like meeting the devil again, he thought silently. Lam Hukjung hadn't appeared yet, so it was best to avoid Liu Yin recognizing him. Otherwise it could cause trouble, stirring up unnecessary trouble. Running into her here when meeting a demon, he thought to himself. Lam Hukduong hadn't appeared yet, so it was best to avoid being noticed by Liu Yin. To avoid trouble, don't stir up the hornet's nest. Liu Yin stepped forward, her cold voice resonating. "Welcome everyone to the S-22 Defense Zone. I am the commander of the 9th Legion, Liu Nian. In the coming week, you will cooperate with our Legion on patrol missions. You have only one duty: obey absolute obedience. Obey, even if the orders are mistaken, you must comply. Remember well, in Zone S-22, anyone who dares disobey will be shot dead." With that, a cold and sharp aura radiated from Liu Yin, making the whole group freeze in place. Tanfong covered his face to avoid being recognized, sneering silently. "No wonder she's a one-star elemental master full of fierce spirit." Liu Yin handed over the tasks to Vung Fa Quan and then left. Vung Fa Quan began assigning all refugee groups by number to coordinate with the auxiliary troops in the patrol team. They prepared to start the mission. The auxiliary forces distributed shovels, demolition charges, ropes, and other supplies to the refugee groups. Their task was to inspect and repair fortifications destroyed by wild beasts. After arranging their equipment, everyone gathered at the patrol area 10 minutes later. 1 hour later, Ha Feng's group followed an auxiliary troop team to Zone 1 West outside Vandung City. The chief officer led the way, speaking sternly. "Attention, we have reached the defensive perimeter. Everyone must remain vigilant. Ahead is today's mission point, a fortification destroyed by wild beasts. This is the watchtower used to monitor wild beast movements. If the beasts appear, this tower will sound the alarm first, so it is an extremely important military point." Team Leader Ha said, "You lead the refugee group to rebuild this watchtower. This task is assigned to you. We will patrol the next point. When you finish, we will meet again. If there's an emergency, contact us immediately." Ha Feng nodded. Understood. The chief officer turned back decisively. "I will be in charge of the guard. Everyone, let's get started. The sooner we finish, the sooner we can join the patrol. This place is unsafe. Do not let your guard down." Someone in the group joked loudly. "The patrol leader just cleared this area. There's definitely no wild beasts bothering us. What's there to be afraid of?" Ha Feng glared, his voice thunderous as he scolded the young man. "You don't understand the cruelty of the world out there. Sometimes humans are even scarier than wild beasts." The young man stammered anxiously. "What? How can humans be scarier than wild beasts?" Ha Feng gave a cold smile, his gaze sharp. "You think humans are very united? You're too naive. On the outskirts of Vandung City, hostile forces often hunt and kill civilians. We still have laws inside the city to restrain them, but out there it's a world where big fish eat little fish. If you're not careful, you'll die without even knowing why. The group looked pale upon hearing this. Let's go work. The earlier we finish, the earlier we finish. No one dared argue. Ha Fong immediately rolled up his sleeves and began working. So tiptoed over, looking up at team leader Ha. Is the world outside the city really that scary? Ha Fong softened his voice with a smile, rubbing the girl's head. Don't worry, team leader will protect So-So. So-So beamed and replied, Thank you, team leader. Tan Fong quietly observed the two saying nothing, his heart filled with complex, unreadable thoughts. At the same time, at the outskirts, Lam Huk-jung and Tiu Lo arrived. Their inside man sent a signal to confirm the location. So was at 6 o'clock, 21 miles away. Lam Huk-jung flicked away his cigarette and lifted a sinister smile. The hunting operation began. Back to Tan Fong's group, the whole team was rushing to repair the Iron Tower to complete the mission soon. Ha Fong stood aside, urging them on while holding binoculars to survey the surroundings. Tan Fong glanced at his younger sister, worriedly asking, Little girl, are you tired? And So replied cheerfully, I'm not tired. Right now I have energy. This is just a small matter. Just then a thunderous explosion came from the forest, causing the whole group to panic. What's going on? What was that sound just now? Tan Fong frowned suspicious. Could it be gunfire? Ha Fong shouted. If something happens, everyone must sound the emergency alarm. He quickly aimed the binoculars toward the forest. His face immediately went pale. This is bad. It's a herd of iron boars. The whole group panicked. Iron boars. They must have been startled by the gunfire and are running this way. Run quickly! Someone shouted. Ha Fong yelled, Foolish! How can you outrun that pack of beasts? Hide in the defensive fortification. Nonsense. If that fortification was useful, this iron tower wouldn't have collapsed. The whole group was desperate. So what should we do? That's a herd of iron wild boars equivalent to an entire squad of Gen soldiers. We only have Captain Ha as a Gen soldier. Isn't it a death sentence? So scared ran to Tan Fong and clung tightly to her brother. Tan Fong quickly embraced So reassuring her, Don't be afraid. Just stand close to me. He looked up urgently and asked the captain, What should we do now? Someone in the group trembled and suggested, Everyone scatter and run. That way the survival rate will be higher. Ha Fong jumped down from the roof, his cold gaze immediately giving orders, Run quickly. I'll stay here to hold them back. He drew his blade ready to fight. The group immediately obeyed and scattered in all directions. Only Tan Fong and So stood still, making Ha Fong astonished. Why aren't you two running away? Tan Fong replied firmly. Captain Ha, we want to stay and help you. Ha Fong and So nodded decisively. That's right. We won't abandon you. Ha Fong angrily shouted, You're crazy. Iron wild boars are third-level ferocious beasts. How do you expect to deal with them? Run back to the defense area now. But it was too late. The iron wild boar herd charged wildly. Tan Fong shook his head and ordered, Quick, So open fire. The two siblings fired repeatedly at the beasts, but the bullets were like mosquito bites. Steel can't stop the wild boars! Ha Fong roared and retreated. In a life-or-death moment, he rushed up and stood firmly in front of the two siblings without hesitation. He swung his blade hard, pushing back the lead wild boar. So-So's eyes widened as she cheered. Wow, Captain Ha is so handsome! Tan Fong silently admired. No wonder he's a level 4 Gen soldier. Truly capable. After a struggle, Ha Fong defeated the lead iron wild boar, but the rest of the herd remained behind. So worriedly asked, Captain Ha, what should we do now? There are still many ferocious beasts behind. Ha Fong frowned. The iron wild boars are charging. Even 3 or 4 level 4 Gen soldiers would struggle to hold them off. This fort can't hold. We have to leave quickly. He signaled Tan Fong to follow. I know a safe place. The three hurried to a ruined building. Sure enough, the iron wild boars didn't follow. So sighed in relief and asked Captain Ha, Are we safe now? Ha Fong nodded cautiously. Yeah, probably. But don't be careless. Keep watch around us. Rest for 20 minutes. The defense area is about 30 kilometers southwest. We should reach there before dark. Everything went too smoothly, making Tan Fong uneasy. Escaping the ferocious beasts. Lam Huk-jung hasn't appeared yet. So-So's danger seems temporarily over. Maybe I'm overthinking. He murmured, but remained suspicious. The beasts were disturbed by gunfire. There must be someone behind this. Just then, a loud noise cut through his thoughts. An armored vehicle appeared, and Lam Huk-jung stepped out wearing a sinister smile. "Kid, I finally found you." Tan Fong's body trembled with anger, his gaze icy. Lam Huk-jung showed up just as predicted. The gunfire that disturbed the beasts was caused by him. So innocent and briefly shocked, suddenly shouted as she ran toward Lam Huk-jung. "Big brother!" The captain must be the one who came from the defense area to help us. Tan Fong hurriedly pulled her back, shouting, So don't go there." Lam Huk-jung laughed cruelly. "A bunch of refugees too weak to fight dare to patrol the dangerous area outside the defense zone, then run into the ferocious beasts. Killing a little girl like this who would suspect us, huh?" Saying that he wildly opened fire at So. Tan Fong swiftly scooped up his sister and dashed behind a large rock to avoid the bullets. Ha Feng hurried after. Lam Huk-jung, like a madman, continued firing at the rock, shouting, "Die! All of you die for me! This time I'll show Father that I can get whatever I want. Perfect, flawless. My ability is no less than Big Brother's, and my heart is even crueler than his." Tan Fong held So tightly, whispering in her ear. Hearing that, the girl's face turned pale. Afterward, Tan Fong turned to Ha Fong, his voice low but resolute. "Captain Ha, please take good care of her." Ha Fong was surprised. "Tan Fong, what do you intend to do?" His eyes blazed. "I want to kill that idiot." With that, Tan Fong unleashed his power and charged straight at Lam Huk-duong, catching him off guard. Tan Fong shouted loudly, his voice echoing, "Captain Ha, take good care of So. I'm going to eliminate that idiot." Lam Huk-duong saw Tan Fong daring to rush at him and laughed. "Do you want to die near me?" He aimed his multi-barrel machine gun at Tan Fong, wildly firing, but Tan Fong was as agile as a leopard, dodging in zigzags. Not a single bullet touched him. In a flash, he closed in on Lam Huk-duong's armored vehicle. He still angrily shouted at Xiaolu, "What this speed? Isn't So-so's big brother an extraordinary person? How come his skills are so formidable?" Xiaolu stammered, "Is this intelligence wrong? This skill at least matches a level 4 Gen soldier." Seeing the machine gun useless, Lam Huk-duong hurriedly climbed into the vehicle and pressed the control button, gritting his teeth and growling, "What now? Lao Tzu will roast you all to death." Tan Fong immediately heightened his alertness on the vehicle's roof outside. Suddenly, a 6-barrel machine gun with rocket launchers appeared. Xiaolu panicked and warned, "Young master, you're too close at this rate, we'll be in danger too." Lam Huk-duong shouted back, "Shut up, I don't care." Lam Huk-duong roared at Xiaolu, his eyes bloodshot and mad. "Shut your mouth." Without hesitation, he launched a rocket at Tan Fong. Cold and sharp-eyed, Tan Fong shouted, "Bring it on!" With that shout, the wind elemental power erupted in Tan Fong's hand, instantly creating a raging storm that swept everything away, blasting the rocket up into the sky with a thunderous explosion. Tan Fong stood firm, unharmed, coldly staring at Lam Huk-duong. Xiaolu and Lam Huk-duong stared in horror, mouths agape. "What? He's a fully matured wind elemental body type here." Ha Fong whispered in shock, "Tan Fong is a standard elemental master." Day. So's eyes widened, disbelief on his face. "Now I know how powerful Big Brother really is." Not far away, perched on a high branch, Bok Took was observing through binoculars, witnessing the whole scene, and exclaimed in alarm, "This is bad. The 2 young masters are in danger." Quickly jumping down, he rushed towards Lam Huk-duong. On the battlefield, Lam Huk-duong panicked and ordered, "Xiaolu, turn the vehicle and run." Xiaolu was startled, quickly backing the vehicle up. Guessing Tan Fong's intention, he sneered in disdain. "You think you can escape?" Tan Fong immediately gathered wind elemental power in front of his chest into an energy ball which sucked everything around it forward, including Lam Huk-duong's armored vehicle. Xiaolu struggled to drive, but it was useless. He shouted in panic, "The vehicle can't move, we're about to be sucked in." Lam Huk-duong stammered, his face drained of blood. "Are you kidding me? Is a standard elemental master really this strong?" When the vehicle was only a few meters away, Tan Fong smiled coldly and threw the wind elemental energy ball under the vehicle. A terrifying explosion erupted the wind element, violently blowing the vehicle into the air. Tan Fong drew the bloodbone blade from his storage ring and shouted, "Today you must die!" He gathered his strength and swung hard at the vehicle. Xiaolu in the driver's seat screamed, "Young master, you can't control the vehicle anymore!" Lam Huk-duong yelled loudly, "Don't care! Jump out of the vehicle now!" He kicked the door open and jumped out. At that moment, Tan Fong's strike exploded the vehicle. Xiaolu didn't escape in time and was trapped in the rubble. Lam Hook Dong luckily escaped the blast, but was thrown by the force, rolling over the ground painfully for dozens of times. He yelled curses, "Damn it, what the hell is this?" He couldn't believe his perfect plan was shattered like this. Suddenly, Tan Fong's footsteps echoed as he slowly approached. Lam Hook Duong panicked and tried to back away, stammering and begging, "Please don't come here. I really have my troubles, spare me. I won't dare again next time." Tan Fong sneered coldly, his eyes icy. "Spare you? If the roles were reversed, would you spare so?" Lam Hook Duong was startled and panicked, shouting, do you even know who I am? Do we know each other?" Tan Fong slowly advanced his voice low and cold. "Of course we know each other. You are my enemy from a past life." Lam Hook Duong was dumbfounded, mumbling, "Past life? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you crazy or what?" And then suddenly he shouted loudly towards someone, "That guy, aren't you going to do something? Want to see me die or what?" Hearing the shout, Ha Fong, who was standing next to the guard holding, so suddenly restrained the girl, threatening Tan Fong. "Stop immediately. If you don't want so to die, don't act recklessly." So was tightly restrained, looking at Ha Fong with disbelief, but he didn't care, only staring intently at Tan Fong. He calmly replied with sharp eyes, "Captain Ha, you really are the one Lam Hook Jung placed beside us." Ha Fong frowned suspiciously. "You knew all along, so why did you hand so over to me?" So immediately responded with action, twisting Ha Fong's finger hard, breaking free from the hold, then delivering a flying kick that sent him crashing into the wall behind. The decisive moves left Lam Hook Jung speechless, thinking, "Damn, this girl isn't normal either. A fourth-level soldier isn't even a match for her. Could she also be a qualified elemental master? Who exactly are these brothers?" Tan Fong said calmly. "Now do you understand why I felt safe leaving?" So with you, brother. So pointed her gun at Ha Fong, her face confused as she questioned why. "Why did you lie to me? You always took care of us. I thought brother was wrong." Ha Fong sighed deeply, his face troubled. "So it turns out you're not ordinary either. That's good, go ahead, kill me." So still hesitated to shoot, shouting Captain Ha. "Why did you do this?" Ha Fong bowed his head, voice filled with pain. "I wanted to make money fast to save my daughter. She's still so young but seriously ill. It's because I'm useless. I have no one else to blame." "I'm sorry." So. She made a move to attack, hearing his answer. So whispered. "So it was for your daughter." She unconsciously lowered her gun unwittingly, giving Ha Fong an opportunity. He sprang up without hesitation, swinging his sword at her. The sword stroke was too fast. So only had time to blink, and in a critical moment a breaking sword shot forward, stabbing Ha Fong and pinning him to the wall. He died instantly. Tan Fong calmly asked, "Why didn't you kill him earlier?" So choked up, calling out loudly, "Brother." She froze, not knowing how to answer. Tan Fong sternly lectured, So, you must remember, in this ruthless world where the big fish eat the small, you absolutely cannot trust people easily." Then his face darkened coldly, looking at Lam Hook Jung. "There's a saying, give and take. You came all this way to willingly give your life if I refuse. Wouldn't that be rude? What do you say, right?" Lam Hook Jung shook his head, frantically backing away in panic. No, Tan Fong paid no attention, his voice cold as a blade. "So today I will definitely take your life." Lam Hook Jung was terrified, crying and begging, please don't kill me." Just then a shout came from afar. "Stop! Don't harm the two young masters." Tan Fong calmly turned around and saw Bok Took rushing in like a whirlwind. Upon arrival, Bok Took unleashed the electric dragon burst skill, causing countless vines to erupt from the ground around Tan Fong and tightly bind him, but Tan Fong quickly flipped to the side to dodge cleanly. Bok Took didn't stop taking advantage of him still mid-air to use the deadly Mamba Coil technique. The intertwined vines formed a giant worm, opening its mouth to swallow half of Tan Fong's lower body, while the upper half was tightly locked by the vines. Lam Hook Jung gleefully shouted with pride, "Heaven hasn't left me a way out. Tan Fong the White Chief is a first-star elemental master from Central Region. He's here now. You absolutely cannot kill me. Tan Fong smiled calmly. Is that so? Then I'll send him off first. Won't that settle it? As soon as he finished speaking, the bloodbone blade in his hand flashed, cutting the vines into pieces. Bok Túc and Lam Huk Zung gawked in horror. Bok Túc shouted, "What, with just a wave of your hand you broke my deadly mamba coil?" He hastily unleashed the rapid death arrow technique, firing countless wooden elemental arrows at Tan Fong. Tan Fong remained unshaken, sneering contemptuously. Rapid death arrow is so slow and you still call it rapid. Smiling, Tan Fong quietly activated Wind Shadow Transformation, sat down, braced his hands and shouted, "Let me show you what true rapid death is." He dashed off, leaving the wooden arrows behind. The arrows seemed to have eyes as they curved around to chase him, but Tan Fong's speed was too fast. They only passed through his afterimage and exploded uselessly. Tan Fong, unharmed, continued rushing toward Bok Túc, attacking relentlessly. Defeated Bok Túc began to panic, wondering, how is this possible? I couldn't see his movements clearly at all. Could this be his true strength? Did he purposely hide it to lure me into action? Suddenly, a light flashed by like lightning. Bok Túc was startled, and before he could react, his head flew up into the air. Huh. Is that my body? Could it be that I was conscious? Bok Túc body stopped. His head fell to the ground, eyes still open as if refusing to close in death. Lam Huk Duong witnessed the whole scene as if doused with cold water. Bok Túc sudden death extinguished the flicker of hope that had just sparked within him. Desperately, he yelled at the headless body. You were only in the fight for a few seconds. Just a few seconds. After a few curses, Lam Huk Duong gradually calmed down. Looking at Tan Fong's cold face, he thought Chief Bok is a first-level elemental master in Central Era with the advantage of terrain. Killing him that fast could only be done by a second-level elemental master. Could this guy be a second-level elemental master? But he's only 17 years old. Even my genius elder brother only became a first-level elemental master at 20. Afraid of his own speculation, Lam Huk Duong threw away his pride and knelt before Tan Fong, begging, "Please consider this a plea. Can you spare me?" Tan Fong frowned coldly. "It's useless. You have to die." Seeing Tan Fong's determination, Lam Huk Duong switched to threats. "Do you know who I am? I'm the second young master of the Lam family. If you kill me sooner or later, the Lam family will investigate, and then my grandfather won't spare you or your little sister." Tan Fong calmly raised his blood blade. "No problem. After you die, it'll be the Lam family's turn. All the Lam family members will go down with you." Without another word, Tan Fong swung down to finish him. Lam Huk Duong looked at his opponent's body and Tan Fong exhaled in relief. It's done. Lam Huk Duong is dead. The threat to So-So is eliminated. He quickly used a storage ring to collect evidence and the body thinking. But the Lam family won't swallow this quietly. Lam Huk Duong's death will definitely make them suspicious of me and So-So. First, we have to erase all traces. Just then, So-So stepped forward, holding the sword. Tan Fong used to kill Ha Fong, brother. Please help me put this sword away. Tan Fong smiled, sheathing the sword in his ring, and gently asked, "Little girl, it's all over now. You're not hurt, right?" So bowed her head sadly. I'm okay, but I don't understand why he wanted to kill me." Tan Fong explained. "Remember the phone you picked up? That was Lam Huk Duong's. His attempt to kill you definitely has something to do with the messages you read." So was suspicious about the phone messages, and Tan Fong nodded. "Exactly, but those messages contain important secrets, so he wanted to silence you. You saw messages from 2 days ago, so the deal is definitely happening tonight." So hesitated. It seems it was something about Chu Thong. "Brother, am I too stupid?" Tan Fong rubbed her head and smiled. "It's okay. Something special will happen tomorrow night, then we'll understand everything." So worriedly, voice trembling. "Brother, we killed Lam Huk Duong. The Lam family will definitely investigate. Now we can't even go home. They could come looking for us any time. It's very dangerous." Tan Fong smiled reassuringly. "Don't worry. We're going to the S-22 defense zone. I know someone who can help. So So, hearing this, her eyes lit up with joy. Really, really. Tan Fong thought of Liu Nian, nodded slightly, a smirk forming at the corner of his mouth. Of course that person owes us a big favor. A few hours later, at the S-22 Defense Zone, Tan Fong and So-So sat in a room answering questions from staff member Tiu Yen. Confirming you were attacked by a pack of wild beasts and split up to escape, Captain Ha Fong stayed behind to hold them off while you two brothers and others escaped. Is that correct? Tan Fong nodded calmly. Yes. Then he showed concern. Has Captain Ha returned yet? How about the others? Have they all come back? Deputy Commander Vuong replied in a deep voice. Only 6 of the 2 groups returned. The rest are still missing, their survival unknown. Tan Fong sighed with regret. Is that so? We hope Captain Ha and everyone are safe. So sat obediently beside him, silently amazed. Wow, brother's acting skills are really amazing. Tiu Yen compared survivors' statements with Deputy Commander Vuong, and the explanations from the returning refugees all matched. Deputy Commander Wang nodded. Yes, it seems to be just a regular wild beast attack. You should report it to the squad leader as such. He turned to Tan Fong and Su. All right, the situation is clear. You guys can go rest now. There will be new assignments later. As Deputy Commander Wang and Xiao Yan were about to leave, Tan Fong called out to the chief officer. We have something to report directly to squad leader Liu Nian. Deputy Commander Wang stopped and frowned. If you have anything, just report it to me. Tan Fong insisted, No, this is very important. I must meet squad leader Liu Nian directly. Seeing his stubbornness, Deputy Commander Wang sternly said, Tan Fong, in the military, the biggest taboo is bypassing ranks to report. Though you're not officially enlisted, you must follow the rules here. Your rank isn't high enough to meet the squad leader. Tan Fong, curiously, asked what rank is needed to meet the squad leader. Deputy Commander Wang immediately replied, either a junior officer or human rights status, Tan Fong. Suddenly realizing, he smiled and pulled a black card from his pocket, offering it to show, This is my human rights card. Deputy Commander Wang and Xiao Yan looked at the card, startled, exclaiming, What? You have human rights status? They hurriedly took the card and examined it carefully. Xiao Yan was amazed. Is this a level 4 human rights card? Dang. Deputy Commander Wang said nothing, thinking to himself. To reach level 4, human rights requires accumulating very high points. Ordinary nobles or soldiers might not achieve it in a lifetime. If his talent is genuine, he might even surpass the top geniuses. Deputy Commander Wang pondered, his eyes flashing with surprise. Lin Yang is even stronger, but whatever the reason, a level 4 human rights holder is absolutely untouchable. However, Xiao Yan, standing nearby, also silently speculated, could he be a fully perfected body cultivator? But he's too young for that. Where do so many geniuses come from? As both were lost in thought, Tan Fong's voice rang out, pulling them back to reality. Can I meet squad leader Liu Nian now? Deputy Commander Wang was startled and quickly replied, Of course. Please follow me, I will take you to meet the squad leader. Soon after, Deputy Commander Wang led Tan Fong and Su to the squad leader's office door. He knocked loudly and reported, Reporting to the squad leader, there is a level 4 human rights holder who wants to see you, saying it's urgent and needs to report directly. Behind, Su whispered to Kaka, Is this squad leader the elemental beauty who lectured us before? Tan Fong smiled and nodded. Yes, that's her. From inside the room, a cold voice sounded, Come in, you have permission. Deputy Commander Wang led the 2 siblings inside. Liu Nian looked up and immediately asked, Who said just now that wanted to see me? Deputy Commander Wang stepped aside and introduced squad leader. This is Mr. Tan Fong, and this little girl is his sister Su. Liu Nian turned around and exclaimed in surprise, Hey, little handsome guy, why is it you? Tan Fong raised his hand in greeting, smiling, Squad leader Liu, we meet again. Witnessing this, Deputy Commander Wang silently wondered, Do they know each other? They seem very close. Liu Nian happily stepped forward and asked, "Why didn't you greet me last time before you left?" She turned to Deputy Commander Wang. "Quick, make tea for these honored guests." Deputy Commander Wang nodded and left. Liu Nian warmly invited, come here, sit down. Feel free to speak your mind." Tan Fong nodded and pulled Su Su to sit down with him. The little girl admired silently. "Wow, she's truly a great beauty. The closer you look, the more beautiful she is." Deputy Commander Wang brought tea and offered it to them before stepping back. Liu Nian sat down excitedly and said, "So, it's Tan Fong. Last time, thanks to your advice, I managed to open an original universe with an 86% amplitude. I still haven't thanked you." Tan Fong modestly said, "It was nothing, don't mention it." Liu Nian smiled brightly, blowing a kiss. "Promise me next time you go to the original universe, don't forget to call me." Su Su's eyes widened, thinking silently, "Cut it out with the flirting." Tan Fong didn't respond, only subtly said, "That day was just luck. Sometimes you get to go more often and that's it." Lin Duan shifted the topic, his tone serious. "Actually, today I came to ask you for help with something." Liu Nian lifted her teacup cheerfully. "Just say it, as long as you ask sister, we'll help." Tan Fong spoke plainly. "It's not a big deal. I want to stay at your place for one night." Liu Nian, sipping tea, suddenly choked and coughed loudly. Deputy Commander Wang screamed silently in horror. "Oh my God, how dare he say such shameless words so confidently to the noble squad leader? Isn't he asking for death?" Su Su, though silent, showed a strange, puzzled expression, but Tan Fong remained naive and calmly waited for Liu Nian's reply. After a moment, Liu Nian wiped her mouth with a handkerchief, her cheeks blushing deeply as she shyly asked again, "You want to stay overnight at my place?" Behind, Deputy Commander Wang almost stepped forward, wanting to ask the squad leader, "Why is your face so red?" Before Tan Fong could answer, Liu Nian changed her tone, puffing her cheeks and pretending to be angry. "If I had known this day would come, why didn't you say a word last time before you left?" Tan Fong awkwardly scratched his head and smiled wryly. "I had urgent business then. Isn't it good that I came now, not late?" Liu Nian smiled seductively. Not late. Once Liu Nian promises, I always follow through. Tonight, just stay the night at my place. Deputy Commander Wang's mouth dropped open, thinking he misheard. He never expected Liu Nian to agree so readily to Tan Fong's request. Tan Fong happily rubbed his head and said, What about my little sister? She can stay at my place overnight, too." Liu Nian was startled and a bit flustered. "Is that convenient?" Tan Fong worriedly asked, "Is there not enough room at your place?" Liu Nian mumbled, "There's enough room, but I want to go deeper to interact with your little sister." Tan Fong grew more confused. "Interact deeper?" he repeated in doubt. No one answered, but everyone in the room showed strange expressions and weird glances. Suddenly, a flash of insight hit Tan Fong, and he realized his words caused a misunderstanding. He quickly stood up, waving his hands to explain, "Big misunderstanding, Sister Liu. I just want to borrow your place to cultivate for one night. I feel like I'm about to break through." Liu Nian cut in, giggling. "Breaking through your courage, you're really about to break through to another horizon." Tan Fong stammered, "No, it's not like that." Liu Nian stepped forward gently, put a finger on his lips, and softened her tone. All right, I get it. I understand everything, no problem, just a small matter." But inwardly, Liu Nian thought, he must be embarrassed and made up a lame excuse to hide it. But this excuse is clumsy. To break through, he just wants to find some place to cultivate for one night. Ordinary people without talent need at least 10 days, half a month, or even half a year of seclusion. I'll prepare a bigger bed for your cultivation." She glanced at Tan Fong with a very suggestive smile. Liu Nian's cheeks flushed, her eyes sparkling with affection, making Tan Fong's face darken. He was sure she still misunderstood, but because it was a secret related to the system, he couldn't explain further. Liu Nian took out a card and handed it to Deputy Wang, her voice gentle. "First, Deputy Wang, please take these two to their resting place. I have some late business and will come to see them later." Deputy Wang accepted the card respectfully and said, "Please follow me, both of you." He then led Tan Fong and Su Su away. Yes, shortly after Liu Ngan came to her desk and pressed a button on the landline, "Xiao Yan, come here for a moment." On the other end, Xiao Yan loudly and clearly said, "Leader Liu Ngan." After disconnecting, she patiently waited a few minutes before appearing to ask the leader. Any instructions? Liu Ngan immediately ordered Xiao Yan go into the city now and buy a few sets of school uniforms for me. Xiao Yan was surprised, but still respectful. "Oh yes, Leader Liu Ngan." She asked further, "Do you know my body measurements yet?" Xiao Yan blushed and nodded, "I do." Liu Ngan was pleased, "Then go buy them. Come back early." But Xiao Yan hesitated, worried, analyzing, "But leader, your measurements are too perfect. It might be hard to find school uniforms that fit. Besides, school uniforms are usually dull." Liu Ngan, annoyed, interrupted, "Stop rambling. Just buy a few that fit well, but not too loose. They have to be a bit tight to show off the perfect figure of this leader." Xiao Yan nodded, "Oh, understood, subordinate nose." Suddenly, Liu Ngan remembered her cheeks reddened as she twisted her hair shyly. "Right, also buy me a maid outfit." Xiao Yan gaped and curiously asked, "Leader, why are you buying those things?" Liu Ngan slammed the table and shouted, "Why so many questions? I tell you to go, then go." Xiao Yan coughed fearfully and hurried off to carry out the task. Left alone, Liu Ngan sat in her chair, cheeks rosy and dreamy. Honestly, I remember he likes the pure style. But who knows, men are often attracted by what's inside the pot. What if he also likes the obedient maid type? Meanwhile, Tan Fong, following Deputy Wang, suddenly sneezed. He muttered, "Why do I suddenly feel so uneasy?" After a while, Deputy Wang led the two siblings to Liu Ngan's residence and said, "Mr. Tan, this is the leader's residence." Su Su looked around with bright eyes, amazed. "Wow, it's so big. Even 50 to 100 times bigger than our house." Tan Fong nodded approvingly. No wonder it's the leader's place. Indeed, not bad." Deputy Wang stood at attention in a military salute, about to leave. "Mr. Tan, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave." But Tan Fong quickly stopped him and asked, "Speaking of the earlier task, didn't you say you'd arrange other missions for us?" Deputy Wang awkwardly scratched his head. "Well, hasn't the leader personally arranged that already?" Tan Fong was puzzled. Since when? Deputy Wang put on a serious face, but the corner of his mouth twitched. "Resting well is the biggest mission for you two. I hope you both put effort into resting and contribute your small part to the defense cause." His words were serious but tinged with teasing, making Tan Fong and Su Su burst out laughing heartily. Tan Fong applauded. "So that's how it is." "Well said, well said." Vice Magistrate Vuong also smiled, thinking silently. "Your relationship with the captain is this close. If I assign the task, I doubt you'd be able to keep this life." After finishing, he wisely left, leaving Tan Fong and So-So to rest. Tan Fong looked at So-So and softened his voice. "Little girl, we are safe now." This is the captain's residence. The Lin family's defense zone definitely wouldn't dare to disturb us here. They would have to show some respect. So smiled mischievously and glanced at him. "Big brother, you know such an important person. That's awesome. Don't joke around with me, big brother," but right after she worried, "But we can't hide here forever." Tan Fong reassured her, "I'll break through to Elementalist very soon. I'll help you level up to human rights status. Then without solid evidence, the Lin family won't dare to openly move against us, So excitedly said Big Brother, "I'll work hard and absolutely won't hold you back." Big Brother looked quickly. She pointed at two huge machines, saying they were the latest virtual reality combat machines. "Captain Liu Nian is really formidable, even skilled in internal martial arts combat. She's really rich." Tan Fong laughed. "If you like it, just play with it. In a few days, Big Brother will buy you one. Just wait for that." So happily started the machine and climbed inside to train. Tan Fong watched her with joy. This little girl is getting more and more passionate about fighting. If she's working this hard, I can't afford to slack off either. Tan Fong lightly pressed a button on the control panel to open the entrance to the training area, constantly considering the current situation. Lin Hukduong's death can't be hidden for much longer. With the Lin family's powerful forces, they will soon trace So-So's location. The strongest members of the clan will definitely reveal themselves. Therefore, I must urgently break through to Elementalist before everything erupts.